7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode 288. This is our 2025 450 Supercross preview show. I'm your host, Travis. I want to thank y'all for joining me here in the TLR Coding Studios. New year, same look,
Same
couple
bullshit.
new things, same BS we deal with all the time. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We've got our members going live right now. That's a bit of a rough thing right now. I'm not fully set up to be live, so my orientation's incorrect. The angle's crappy. I want to thank, if any of the members are actually watching right now, I want to thank you guys for tuning in here. We've got a slightly different time. I had a scheduling conflict that I didn't know I had till last weekend after we scheduled this. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. So new for 2025 here, we have a new presenting sponsor here, and we are now presented by our friends over at Rev X Oil. Dan and the gang over there make a full lineup of oil and fuel additives. Me and Cole have been out. We've tested this max power stuff a little bit. Rev X has that on their YouTube channel, so you can go check that out and see me and Cole, our late friend Doug, and Hunter testing out that max power additive in our engines. I know I've put it in the kids' CRF 110 engine also, and it seemed to smooth that out a little bit.
Better try the old KLX 110, let her bark.
It will. So he had told me, he's like, dude, you got to put it in that because that'll you'll notice a difference. It's much smoother than it used to be. So, thanks to them. Still on board with us here this year. We got Complete Racing Solutions going to be bringing you the halftime report. Gutterworks is going to be presenting our 450 segments all year. Flo Racing going to be bringing us our 250 segments all year. And we still got the Holster Co. Reload Rant with the occasional TLR tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
So basically all the usual suspects are still on board here. In studio with me, my two Supercross co-hosts. Are you going to make it through a full season? And what I mean by that is a full 17-round season.
I'm just wondering why you're looking at me.
I'm worried about you. He's made it through.
I only missed two ones last year, and
My
one of
man
them.
over here has been through complete indoor and outdoor seasons with me, okay? Yes, his schedule is a little different now, so he doesn't do all of them, all 31 rounds anymore, but, whatever. You, on the other hand, I'm not sure we've ever made it through a complete, just even single season.
Hey, I know one.
Listen. Just call me a member of the Triumph Racing team because you don't know. If I'm
But
gonna
bro,
make it
I know
through
one
this
round he
season.
won't be, and it's the same round it always is for me too. It's Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
That'll be the one time you can guarantee.
We may
Mother's Day I've missed too.
we may move that show to Monday.
Well, also
we-
especially
we-
if the Lions make the Super Bowl this year. So,
There are some of those we may move to Monday because it helps my family scheduling conflict a little bit more. Also, if we do a Monday night show instead of that, so
I will also be honest too. Even though this was way before he started the show, it was a lot easier back in the day when we were just doing these shows around this time on Sundays too. I don't have a problem with the 6 o'clock.
Did we used to do them in the middle of the afternoon? I don't
Yeah, we
even
used to do them
remember.
at 1, 2
There was
o'clock in the
oh,
afternoon.
Okay, all
But that
right.
was a long time ago.
That was a long.
Yeah,
that,
maybe that's easier. I don't
that
know.
must have been earlier.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That
was before the
We might
studio.
be able to do that too. I mean,
whatever works for you guys. I don't care. I'm just saying we've gone through the
Wait,
changes.
let's just do it by the seat of our pants.
well,
And
we'll
by the
get
way,
there.
guys, just so everybody knows, so you can stop hounding our asses about this because we've gotten blown up in the
boy,
250
here we
show.
go.
This show is being filmed as of December 15th,
15th. Yes.
Sunday.
Yes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Because we've gotten flamed, because I know both of you have seen it many times,
Yes.
especially with the RJ situations, where I didn't think it would be
Yes.
that big of a deal that we didn't know RJ got hurt.
Yes.
No, I think it's good. Let the people interact.
Yeah.
Let
But
the
just so you
algorithm
know,
grab
but
it.
it's funny too, because you're going to clip these, and it's,
Yeah.
nobody's going to see this, and they'll be like, "Why are these
No.
fucking morons?"
No,
So,
they won't see it. They'll watch it. It's whatever.
There's always going to be one of our loyal homies that's going to step up, comment
they already
back,
have.
and just say, "Hey, man, this show was filmed."
Look,
wherever."
They already have.
everybody just thinks that you're just filming it live.
I know.
When it's scheduled, even though you can clearly see that it's been on the
Somebody
the
did.
docket for
Yeah,
a
we're
week.
somebody was like, "I think they've just been clipping the segment.
That's
guys.
exactly it.
We're not full timers.
Yeah, we don't make lots of money with this.
And also to any of the loyal fans out there that listen to the podcast side of things, I got an update yesterday that apparently the podcasts have not been uploading because I tried to upload the last two last weekend or the weekend before. We're trying to switch over to in the Spotify creators realm there to try to input that revenue also. So there's some back end stuff that must have got a little screwed up. So we'll see where we get to. I will work on it. I didn't know there was a thing. I thought everything was cool. So sorry to everyone about that, but I will work on getting the audio version out also. Look, our main focus is YouTube because it helps me keep the light on above us so that we can continue to film this because that's pretty much all we can do. So, so thanks to everyone there. Thanks to all the sponsors. Make sure to check them out. There are links and discount codes and all sorts of stuff in the description down below. Also, if you want to see the show film live, or join me on a Thirsty Thursday call, which is going to start here in January.
Oh, wow.
We have a members area. You can join for as little as 99 cents a month. That smallest tier there will get you live recordings of the show along with some other benefits. I think I'm going to start doing some race audio. I'm going to create a playlist for members that will have races, and you can watch that playlist and listen to my audio takes for those older races like that. So I believe that's going to happen. On top of, like I said, you get to watch the show being filmed live, much like our members, if any of them are watching right now, get to. So and I will do better with the live stream here as we go forward because I'm tech retarded and it just doesn't work well for me. So I'm trying my best.
Cole's just
here.
like,
It's dude, it's rough, man.
No. My other thing is maybe I'll just save this for the reload rant,
Okay, yeah,
and I'll see if Justin agrees with me.
save it for save it for the rant. All right, okay, let's jump into this here. We've BS'd around long enough here. 450 Supercross preview show here, 2025 edition. Hope you boys are ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Why? Did you
Are we
bring some
ready?
of the hottest takes?
I got
look
some
at
hot
2005 A1.
I got some hot takes
Ooh,
here.
that setup was good.
Rain day.
Stewie.
Hey, my whole life was about January 8th.
Oh, it was, bro. You remember that lead up? All
Yeah.
the races are January 8th, bro. January 8th,
You
bro.
remember the cover of Racer X?
And then it
Yeah.
just went terrible.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's jump into this. All right, let's start. We're going to start from the top down this year. We're changing this up because what I don't like is we usually start at the bottom and go up, and then by the time we get to the end, we've been here so long, we're like, "Oh fuck, this sucks."
Yeah.
So, we're going to start at the top down, and that way we'll have more energy when we're talking about it. So, we're going to start with the Honda HRC team.
Ooh.
So, let's fire off with Hunter here. So Hunter obviously been riding this offseason, Paris SX winner there. Did he win the OzX too?
He won OzX.
He won
OzX.
OzX. Oh, he didn't win Paris.
No.
Coop won Paris. Sorry.
Very underwhelming, too, at Paris, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he is going to be sneaky good this year. And I know there's been some talk through some of the other talking heads I've listened to this week about him, about the outdoor season, and SMX is kind of skewing our thoughts about him because he did well in outdoors and he did well in SMX.
Oh, they don't think he's going to do as well.
And he was a rookie.
Worse,
Like, everybody
yeah.
looks past that.
Yeah.
So wait, you're saying that people are thinking that like we're putting too much stock into what he did outdoors?
Yes.
I think that's stupid.
Yes, and it's a
think that's
certain
dumb.
person,
Yeah, I
which
think
I'll
that's
get
dumb.
to.
Yeah,
I'm going
I'm
to rant
kinda
about
with you. I'm
him
kinda with you.
later,
It's a
but
250 Supercross, Jim. I know it's not the same thing. That's dumb. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
my thing is that we've watched this with Hunter's career of he just continues to get better. He's almost like, for lack of a better term, like the diesel engine. Like he gets better and better. We watched it in
He's new
250s.
Dodge.
We watched it this. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
not
do
wrong.
I do think this year he is going to be a podium threat every time out there. Like he is going to that position of a top 5 is okay. But the podium is where he's really looking to be and
as long as he
expected to
doesn't
be.
stack up with Freeze in the first turn.
Well, that's a whole other thing. So
No, I would agree with you on that, Travis. I think he's definitely going to be sneaky good.
Okay.
I mean, there are a couple races that I can think back to that I would personally blame his fitness on. Just where he was out front. Little brother chased him down. Little brother may have let him have a couple of them if there wasn't pressure from behind.
Are you supposedly speaking about Denver? where
Denver
he was out
one
front.
that I can kind of point back to. I think end of the season. Little brother may have gave him one, but Anderson was coming like a freight train, and some other guys were still coming late.
Yep.
My biggest worry with Hunter is just where's his fitness at. I believe there's other things that are involved that may hold him back in that department. Body burning himself out, or how can he maintain his body to get through the whole season is my biggest concern with Hunter Lawrence.
That is a big concern there, strictly for the fact of we've seen this here of, and I've heard somebody mention this that was close to them, of like he's very more susceptible to little inconsistencies with things when it comes to body.
Yeah.
And that's something with, I mean, we've all talked about his diabetes or whatever that he's messing with, and the diet can throw him off just a little bit. So there's lots of things that can throw him off. So just so we know too, he was 9th overall in points last year in Supercross missing around.
Well, remember when we were talking about this back and forth halfway through the year when J. Coop was doing really well, and we were starting to like level them up, like who's having a better season when Hunter, and we were kind of just leaning towards, man, like J. Coop's been fastest qualifier. He's led some, we led some heat races. He didn't win one, and then Hunter came on strong, and we looked at the end of the year, we're like, damn, like they've pretty much been the same person.
Yeah, but I think Hunter gets the nod because Hunter was in contention for SMX. I mean, he came out swinging, and in my mind, straight up beat Eli and Jett in that second round.
Oh, I agree,
which
too.
was very impressive.
2 top 5s, 2 podiums.
The only thing
last year.
He was also in the driver's seat of the outdoor championship at one point in time, and Justin Cooper was nowhere near that.
Red plate, yeah.
The only thing that, and I totally agree with both of you guys on every level of this conversation. The only thing I am worried about with Hunter, and we've talked about this, and you've mentioned this quite a few times, and I don't know if, this show was specifically the first people to say it, or it's happened on other shows, but like how he gets when he's around Jett. Like him feeling comfortable with Jett behind him, making it like, hey man, like you got to go. You can almost hear like Jett yelling like, fucking go, let's go.
Like they need each other.
They can build off of each other. The only thing that worries me with Hunter is I don't necessarily know, and I wouldn't disagree, I just don't know yet, if he has the outright speed any night he doesn't get a top 5 start to work his way through the pack. Not to say he's not smart enough, because he's clearly shown he's a 250.
He can work through the pack.
I just don't know if on the nights that, like, say he's like 7th and Jett, Eli, Chase, whoever, they're buried for whatever reason. They're just buried.
Yeah.
Is Hunter going to be able to take advantage of that and work his way towards the front and not necessarily win? Because we all know you get a 5th place start no matter who's out front. If it's Coop, whatever, it's going to be hard to run those guys down. Outside of your name being Jett Lawrence.
Yep.
Is he going to have the speed to work his way through and capitalize on everybody being a little worse than him? And that is where I still don't know if his outright speed, his top-end speed, is good enough. I think he does everything else well. We talk about how smooth Jett is on a bike. I'll argue that I think Hunter is actually more technically sound than Jett is, because Jett still seems to get a little bit loose or whatever, and Hunter is calculating things in his brain a lot more. And sometimes it's to a fault, and I think sometimes it works against him.
I think it definitely works against him, but he's thinking more.
Yeah.
He's more mature. He's
doesn't end up on the ground as much.
Thinking.
Yeah.
But you guys think that if he gets like a 7th place start, he can work his way towards the front if all the other top guys are like, say Malcolm or Jay Cooper, who's ever out front, he's like 7th, and like everybody else that he's battling for the titles like 10th, 11th for whatever reason. Is he fast enough to work his way through towards the front to get a win?
I think it depends on the night. If he's on, yes.
Okay.
If he's on,
all right.
But I don't think he's a guy that's he's on every single time he hits the track.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I don't know. So I went back. I watched A1, but obviously A1's not a good marker for this.
No,
and then we had
especially that
all
night.
the mud rounds too last year, right? But I didn't watch any of the other ones. I didn't go watch like Indy or anything like that to really like pay attention. Like, okay, when how does he ride in these stadiums like that? So I'll be honest, I don't really know if the trend continues like it did outdoors last year with him and Jett, and now he's obviously comfortable, hopefully won't come in and get freezed right off the fucking rip this year, then I think there's a possibility that you're going to see him do very similar things like they did outdoors. As you just stated, and I've stated a whole bunch of like, when Jett's there, it's like his comfort zone of like I ride with him every day. So like cool, if he's going this speed, I'm going this speed, and if Jett's going a speed that's 5 seconds faster than everybody else, Hunter's gonna be 5 seconds faster than everybody else because he's just like, yeah, dude, I'm just riding with my brother.
He's gonna trust him. He's gonna latch onto him and trust him. Where we all know that like there's guys out there, you try to latch onto somebody in front of you and mark them, you're not necessarily like comfortable because you don't really know what they're gonna do. They're like, oh hey, they've gone 3-3 quad every lap, and like, can he do it consistently? Where with Jett, he knows that like, hey, Jett more than likely is gonna be able to do this for fucking 20 plus one.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting thought that I've never thought.
Yeah.
In my mind, you know, I've never. I guess maybe I just suck at race IQ, but
no, I mean, I think it's just like I think with these two, it's a different situation than we've ever seen before because we didn't like. The only other time we ever saw brothers race was obviously Stu and Malcolm, and Stu was at the back end of his career, and Malcolm was just out of shape.
Yeah,
and then
the
J Mart and Amar
situation didn't really work out either.
Who's that?
The Alessi situation.
No, and then J Mart and Amar. No offense to Big Al, but J Mart was on a totally different level than those two.
That is the thing with brothers is like there always seems to be one real dominant one. Where like in this case, it's like there is a real dominant one, but
Hunter can go with
Hunter
Jett.
Can go.
He can go with Jett.
Yeah.
Now his win record against Jett isn't great, but he can go with Jett.
Yeah,
especially at High Point.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that? Every fucking year, dude.
Okay.
Hey, look, it's RJ who's not going to ride west.
So let's move on. We'll get to that. That's it. That we'll talk about that when we talk about the Husky team. All right, let's get on to Jett then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Defending champ. Mm-hmm. What did he have last year? 7 wins, 8 wins,
7
like
wins.
7
yeah, because I think we went over this because we thought it was more, and it was actually
because he won 10% of the. Everybody freaked out about the 72 thing. It's like he won 10% the first year.
Yeah,
like,
7
with one. He threw one away.
Yeah, with throwing one away. So I think number one, I'm very sad. The 450 class has broke him. He is no longer that fun-loving kid.
That's exactly.
We talked about this though. We knew this was going to happen.
We knew it was going to happen. Very
that's
serious.
Exactly what I wanted
Everybody
to talk
can
about.
suck his fucking dick as
And
far
how long
as
is
he's
he going to be able to
concerned.
do this at this? Because I feel like
He doesn't care about the haters.
Yeah.
All this crap. Now, again, I think this is just one of those growing pains. We've seen this with Eli. We've seen it with other people. You go from that up-and-coming kid that everybody loves to then all of a sudden you're winning all the time, everybody hates you, and then all of a sudden you're a living legend.
I mean, it ruined RV. It ruined RV.
I think this is a huge year for Jett Lawrence.
But I think home life. I think I don't want to say home life because that sounds like Kiefer talking about his chick, but I do think his family dynamic with RV did not help him at all.
No, because he really never even wanted
where
to.
He didn't have it. Where Jett has that. Jett has Dazzy to keep his feet on the floor. Jett has Hunter to be like, bro, we're just here to fucking ride dirt bikes. Like,
mom's there,
mom's there, brother's there. Like, at the end of the day, there are people there.
I think his chick's super supportive of him.
Yeah, that can be like, bro, we're just riding fucking dirt bikes. Like, who cares if they don't like you? Don't take it that serious.
You don't know these people.
Be a good person and move on, right? Now, with that being said, I think he wins 10 to 12 rounds this year and repeats.
I don't think he wins 10 to 12. I think that he is the overwhelming favorite, as he should be.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you think he wins?
I don't know, man, because we do this every year, and I think with Jett it's very, very hard. And the reason why I say that is because I think you have 3 Jetts now, 3 Jett Lawrence versions now. And let me explain. There'll be nights where he yanks a holy and he sprints away, dictates the pace, wins by 5-10 seconds, and we just go, yep, Jett continues to prove that this is who we think Jett is, and this is where Jett is at. There's going to be other nights where he gets a terrible start. Track doesn't lend himself to doing what he wants to do. He's not really, we go back to the race IQ, he's not analyzing things, he's just reacting.
Yeah, he's pretty good at running into the back of people.
Yeah, he ends up, Barsha, ends up on the ground. Or there's going to be other nights where he gets a terrible start. He's going a second and a half faster than everybody else, gets like a third or fourth, and we just all go, man, if he got a start, he probably would have won, but he didn't because he didn't do himself any favors.
Yeah.
And I think those are the 3 versions of Jett. And if you look back to last year, or technically still this year, we got all those versions. We got the dominant one. We got the guy that crashed too many times that we're like, what the fuck are you doing? We understand you're a rookie, but you're too good for this. And other nights where, holy shit, this kid's insanely fast, but he still didn't win, but he minimized the damage.
Yeah.
So, like, when you ask that, it's hard because any one of those Jetts can show up. Because if you look back, other than 2023 Outdoors, Jett's really never had a easy title. Like, he's won them, and where mathematically you go, yeah, that guy could maybe win, but he still wins by, like, 20 points. Yeah. But you look back and go, damn, Jett definitely made this a lot harder on himself. So I do agree. He is overwhelming favorite. But I don't know on the wins because we all thought like that he was going to get way more than he did last year. And 7 obviously is great your rookie season. But as Cole just said, and you've stated many times, you could probably go, yeah, man, he probably could have won more than that had he not, shot himself in the foot.
He probably could have gone 8 to 10 last year. Easy.
He could have.
Yeah.
But part of it too that we fought last year was we fought the weather everywhere we fucking went.
But we could do that again this year.
I understand
and that's the
that.
problem.
And that's something that we don't know till race day, basically, right? But I'm saying normal track conditions there. Do you think he makes the same mistakes that we've seen already? Do you think he runs into the back of somebody? Do you think
because I think that
do you think he wads himself in the whoops 3 times trying to make up time? Do you think he turns down in the corner and gets fucking just annihilated by Barsha again? Like,
I do
you
think
think
he
makes those mistakes?
not as bad, but I still think he's going to because I think that
A
there's.
couple of them trickle out.
I think it's hard for him because he's so much better than 99% of the dudes he's in the pack with that his brain is reacting, or his brain is like going through things so quickly. And when you get in the pack, like other dudes are just trying to get into a flow, and we know that Jett gets into a groove very early.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in a groove that early and you're bunched up, and everybody else is still feeling out, even if it's Barsha, Ando, they're still feeling out the pace. What is the track doing? Is it slippery? Where the rut? Like, I think that he's going to make those mistakes even if he's not trying to, because he's just going so much faster than everybody else in that group. I don't think it's going to be as bad. I think the whoops thing, I don't think that's going to happen. But I still think that if he gets a bad start, he is just going to make mistakes because he's just going faster than everybody else.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see him making the same mistakes. Can stuff happen? Yeah, I still could totally see. I could see him doing something dumb like hitting the gate, like trying to jump the gate, hit the gate. Dumb shit. Like there's shit like that I like. Yeah, and there's other things that obviously we don't know, like weather, that kind of stuff that I could see. I just find it hard to believe that he isn't going to pull 10 this year. I think he's going to hit double digits. He's got a new goal, too. In some of the interviews I've listened, his new goal is to win all 3.
Win all 3 what?
Supercross, motocross, SMX
all in the same year? I mean, we all thought he was going to win outdoors last year.
So that leads me right into what's on my mind is I really hope he's goal-oriented and keeps moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, I see a kid that doesn't like the spotlight and has no choice but to be in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a huge, huge year for him because if he loses, everybody is going to be happy that he lost. If he wins, everybody's going to be pissed that he wins. Mm-hmm. So for him as a man and mentally, how does he react? Mm-hmm. Like, we know he's going to go out and win a shitload of races. Is he going to win a title? He's going to be. If he doesn't, he's going to be right there. Mm-hmm. There's no way, barring he gets hurt. So, I don't know. I just think it's where do the goalposts keep going from here on out?
Well, I think you've got several goalposts to move with him. Okay, number 1, we've already seen the 72, so that goalpost is still way out there, obviously. Yeah. Number 2, now he's realizing, okay, cool, nobody's ever won all 3 titles in 1 year. That's now my fucking new goal that I'm going to say out loud right now. Mm-hmm. Then I think you've got a perfect Supercross season, and is that even possible?
I don't think that's possible.
Who knows?
I don't think it's possible.
Who knows? But if you need a goal to keep you going, there you go. And then once you do that, then it's like, okay, cool. Can I go perfect 31? Can I win every Supercross, every outdoors, every SMX round? I mean, I think there's goalposts for him. Now, those goalposts are fucking nuts compared to what everybody else.
I think he even knows that some of those aren't achievable. It's just, it's impossible.
And it's just how old is he? 21?
21 or 22.
I think he's 21. I think he's 21 now.
It's different when Ricky was this age and kicking everybody's ass and dominating because he didn't have a consistent microscope on you.
Yeah.
In today's day and age, you got cameras everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket to video if you're doing something bad or doing something wrong. The camera's always going to be on you, like the Anderson and him incident. Mm-hmm. I mean, back in the day, if Chad Reed was pissed at somebody, you weren't going to get that kind of coverage. You weren't going to see it. Now, everybody's got a mouth to run, and it's just, I can't imagine what you got to deal with at that age.
Yeah.
Being at the top of a sport. I mean, think about it.
And I also think now, too, and even though the people that I'm about to say he is on a different level than those people, he's not made enemies, though, in the 450 class. Yeah. There are people that don't like him. And even though he's so much better than them, we all talk about this every time. Like, not the nights when he's feeling it, but the nights when he's working his way through the pack.
Now, I think one of his enemies is going to be a little better this year too.
I agree with that. And I think
we'll
I know
get
who
to
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. I just think that there's so many more factors now going into his second year in the 450 class full time that even though he is the overwhelming favorite, I think that there's just a lot more that he's going to be thinking about every weekend. And like you said, the mental side, he's already getting burned out. And the goalpost, as Cole just said as well, that's something to help you move through the burnout. But it's like, the problem is that he's going through burnout already at a very young age. The guys that we've talked about that went through burnout, they were in the mid-20s and they had retired not so long after. He's 21, maybe 22. I think he's 21. How long? Guys can only go through that kind of mental,
It's almost like he needs to lose one, and the losing one will be the best thing to happen to him.
But
for
he technically
longevity.
did. He lost outdoors last year.
But he got hurt.
It doesn't matter.
He hasn't
lost
been
outdoors.
in,
got hurt twice.
He hasn't been in one the whole season.
Yeah.
And lost.
Just how long is he? I think my whole thing is just how long can he go with this mental burnout before it's actually becomes too much? Where he doesn't want to do it.
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think the thing is that like he's gone through this playful kid stage, right? And in doing that, come up on this massive trajectory, right? And this is the first point that he's reached where it's like, ooh, not everybody likes me all of a sudden. But again, I don't think it's that bad. I think there's enough smart people in his corner to be like, bro, this is just part of the thing. They've all gone through it. Tomac, RV, fucking RC, Stu. They've all gone through it where people loved him, then fucking hated him. I mean, look at Stu. All you got to do is go talk to Stu. People loved that guy when he came in. Then all of a sudden he gets in the 450 class, and people fucking hated him.
The hate for him actually went way too far.
He is a legend, and there is quite literally barely anybody you walk through the pits isn't like, dude, Stu,
fucking
sick.
Stu.
Yeah.
He went through a lot of hate.
So yeah, so I don't think that'll be a big problem. Is anybody worried about the bike situation?
That's exactly what was next on my mind.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I'm actually thinking this is going to work to their advantage because maybe they don't come out swinging, running right away.
I had this thought too
And
that
they're
they might
kinda
start
just gonna-
slow.
Yeah, slowly traject through the season.
Yep.
And hey, I didn't have it tonight. Bike's not as good, but I still got third.
Are you going back to the Paris whoop situation?
Dude,
is this where this comment's coming
Well,
from?
that too.
Bad.
Well, that too. So
I watched so many times him doing that, the press day or their version of press day.
Yeah.
and
He
all
did
I was
not look
thinking
good
of,
in the whoops.
all I was thinking in my mind is I was like, dude, Jett is he's trying to push it too hard coming in.
Well,
and just
the
every
bike's
time.
not taking it. Yeah.
No.
So everything I listened to with them and Dazzy and everybody was they'd only been on the bike for 6 days, like the 25 in Supercross, right? They'd only been on it for 6 days. They thought they had a setting that was okay, and then in literally that they realized, oh, that's a little soft. I will say that they went from that. Obviously, they then went to Australia there, where they've been.
They basically rode production bikes over there.
They rode production bikes over there, and insider knowledge here, they just got back to the dog pound and rode for the first time Friday.
Well, I think also too, if you look at those whoops and
So they've got 3 weeks,
and this is like
4 weeks, whatever the fuck it is.
just like obsessed with technique and watching and breaking stuff down. But there was a thing that I noticed of maybe why Jett was having an issue, not only for the fact that he was on a production bike, but if you watched a lot of those, and I don't know if you guys probably already know this, but now, and I love this for the whoop, especially with the 9 whoop rule, we're rolling the whoops now.
seems
All of them,
something
so
they're gonna
they
roll.
stay consistent, but they're a
Yeah.
lot harder, so they don't give way. So when the front end touches first, it doesn't absorb it as much. It bounces a little bit. If you watched a lot of those guys that were hitting those whoops perfectly, which everybody was having problems, but like some of the French guys, like Gregory Ronde, was getting through them pretty quickly. A lot of them, and we all know a lot of these 450 guys, like there's no need to use fourth gear in the whoops. Like
There's only one guy that runs fourth in the
exactly.
whoops.
Well,
Jason
you look at
Anderson.
Jett, and Jett we know has so much fucking whoop speed. Trying to come into third, you look at a lot of the guys that were getting through those whoops. They were short shifting fourth coming out of the corner, so they were letting the bike lug into it. So that chain wasn't as tight when it hit the whoops. So I think what Jett's problem was, there was so hard and there was not as much give. That chain already had so much torque on it. It was just spinning like fucking crazy every time it hit a whoop.
Interesting.
And if you watched a lot of them, that's why I think a lot
Side
of
to
his
side, but yeah, also wheel spin to drop the front end too.
and if you just go back, if you guys get bored and just watch that, how guys were setting up for the whoops. And that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's fact, but if you just watch a lot of the guys that were getting through a little bit better than Jett in the beginning,
Yeah.
a lot of them were they were shifting fourth coming out, and they were just lugging into the whoops.
I've never sat and really looked at it like that. But
I love that shit though. So like, I'll watch that and break it down.
You'll really like this. A little off topic, but I watched it on the way here. Have you watched the club off-season episode?
I started it. I didn't watch it all the way.
So they get midway through, and Brayton's just talking whoops, and they spend the whole day Brayton teaching them how to do whoops. And he's like, "There's only one guy."
Yeah, cool.
He was like, "There's only one guy that hits him in fourth gear, Jason Anderson," and then start talking about transmission ratios. And he's like, "Me personally, I run third."
Yeah.
It was interesting.
That's super cool.
Ando runs fourth more than anybody I've ever seen on a Supercross track.
I've never
on a
seen
450.
anybody use a shifter as much as Anderson.
Well, I watched him like the video that Swap put out, and I watched him a couple times. And I think to like the naked eye, somebody who doesn't really know how Anderson rides, you'd watch him and you'd see him like double tapping in the air and be like, "Oh, he's going down to first." It's like, no, man, listen to that bike. He's not double tapping down to first.
No.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild, but like works.
One other thing before we get done with Honda, get ECUs this year instead of in-house.
Ooh,
Where do we see that going?
Well, they used them on the 250s, and they were really fucking good. So
I mean,
think
those
it'll
boys
be-
weren't yanking starts in the 250 class, and I think ECU is the whole ticket to getting a start. So where are these guys' starts going to be?
That'll be interesting if
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't know. That it is true.
It is true.
That is
Yeah,
a thing.
that is
But
very-
I'm not sure. I don't know.
That's gonna make if they struggle with that the first couple rounds, especially if it's a mud race, which I mean at that point, like you're throwing everything out the window. But either way,
I mean, obviously I don't know a lot of behind the scenes. Do they have a Honda guy there tuning the ECU, or
I don't know.
You know,
I don't have
stuff
any
like
idea
that.
about it.
we know how good
I'm
those
not
Honda
super
starts
concerned
are.
about it, but we'll see. It'll be interesting, something to keep an eye on. Of like if their start struggle is at the ECU situation.
Yeah,
so.
it's the first thing you can point your finger at. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. All right, let's move on to Star here. So we got on Star, we got Webb, Tomac, J. Coop, and Christian Craig. Anybody got anything on Craig?
Well, I don't think he's gonna make the first round, right?
Not gonna make the first.
Not that
round.
I've heard. Yeah.
I'm actually excited for Craig with this one. I'm
Yeah.
very interested to see how this goes because obviously, and he's come out and said it, the last whole deal did not work for him.
Shocking.
He's back where he's comfy. When he won that title on the 254 Star, he was so good, dude. So good. Love him or hate him, he was phenomenal.
Dude, look how good he was outdoors on the 450.
Yeah, leading
Yeah.
motos, getting podiums.
At Southwick of all places.
Right.
The fuck?
So I haven't seen any videos of him through the whoops yet. I'm waiting. I'm here I'm rubbing my
Just
hands
rubbing your
together.
hands
Christian Craig in the whoops, bro.
Yeah,
Just
I'm here
RV
rubbing my
rubbing
hands
everywhere.
together. I need some videos of Christian Craig in the whoops, and that'll be like, okay, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
He's back, but I think he's in a real unique, no pressure situation.
yeah.
And I think a guy like that, he's very. I mean, he thrives under no pressure. I think pressure is very hard for him to deal with, and now he's at a point in his career where he can he knows what his future is. I think he's got his exit strategy already laid out. Like he could be sneaky good. I think he could be better than Justin Cooper.
Think he's going to manage the Deegan 38 team?
You know, it's funny too. I was just about to
I
mention
think that too.
I think a lot of
what I mean
Christian's
about his
role
exit strategy.
on this team is not only to help keep developing the bike and make it better, but
Deegan.
I really think it has a lot to do with Hayden and
Do you
grooming
think
him
so?
for
Let
the
me
450.
ask you this.
Hold on.
on.
I'm serious.
Let's
on
go.
that.
Let's go down a TLR tinfoil hat here.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Great.
Do you think he has no salary bonuses only on the riding side of thing, and then the Deegans are paying him a salary to coach him, which is what he's living off of,
Could be.
plus like gear deal and stuff?
think
I
he'd be
guess
close. I mean, that gear deal's probably pretty good.
gear deal's got to be $100,000.
I mean, the deal came together.
Try 5. I bet that's $500,000.
You think he's $500,000?
I think he comes along with Instagram, casual.
yeah,
the
I
casual
guess.
side of that company's massive.
I guess. Yeah, that could be
that.
okay.
I think that plays into it.
I mean, that deal did come together pretty easily. So
Yeah, I mean,
it would not surprise.
like no
I mean,
offense.
so we don't know behind the scenes.
No
but-
offense, but one 250 title and a bunch of other mediocre years don't land a Fox deal to me.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, like I said, I don't know on that side, but I do think there's got to be something to what both you guys are saying, because I think that whole deal like came together way too smoothly, and like they're like I just don't think that.
and with knowing the way that Star runs,
Yeah.
they're very good on getting guys that just want to be there to ride that bike
For sure.
and not pay him a whole lot. And so, like I said, it would not surprise me, especially the way the last 2 years have gone for Christian there on the Husky, for it to be, hey man, here's your bonus structure. We'll, fly you there, per diem, that kind of stuff. And like, you got to get your money somewhere else. And then, like I said, Deke's probably paying him whatever.
X amount, yeah.
100 G's, let's call it that.
I don't either way.
$500,000 on your on your gear deal plus some other personal deals.
Whatever he's making,
Easy.
I don't think it bothers him. I think he's fine with it.
I think he's in a good point in his career to where he can just kind of go out and do what he wants. And
Yeah.
you know, a night with a good set of whoops. I mean,
I think we'll know right away though, like how his year's gonna go.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I've already watched a couple clips of him. I'm like, he's passing the eye test already. And everybody always kind of...
It's a strong team too, bro. It's a strong 450 squad when you add him in there too. If he's healthy,
real.
like that's a strong 450 lineup right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody got any thoughts on Justin Cooper?
A lot of the same.
That's what I put down too.
Other than he's going to be in O'Neal gear. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fucking
the
O'Neal gear.
O'Neal fit was looking pretty good.
I mean, dude, yeah. I mean,
the HJC helmet, I'm not down with.
nah, man, that scares me a little bit. But
Yeah.
like, good thing J. Coop doesn't crash a whole lot.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, I think I will say that most of his career when we come up in here to do these shows, I think that it's a lot of the same because that's J. Coop's entire career.
Yeah.
He's the new Rock Tickle.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheese pizza.
Cheese
Cheese
pizza.
pizza. Hey,
It's
man,
never super good and it's
got
never
a title,
terrible.
like led some races that he probably should have won.
Brock Tickle 2.0.
I think he's just gonna
Just better style.
get that second tier 450 money his whole career, which again is more than enough to live off of as far as I'm concerned.
I
So,
mean,
How long do you think he stays on Star though?
ooh, great question.
Or, I mean, I guess you could answer, how long do you think he keeps getting factory rides? Because obviously we know that what he's doing is good enough, but like, how long do you think
I'll be
that's going
honest,
to go?
he could probably stay at Star for a while here.
I think he's a factory guy his whole career.
Because, yeah,
Till he
I think,
decides to
I
hang
think
it
so
up.
too.
Okay.
Because I think his finishes are gonna, because like he's gonna
Top 10.
He's gonna get what, a couple of podiums this year.
Yeah,
a
and
few podiums.
he's going to be fastest in practice at one or
in
two
practice,
rounds.
and he'll
Which you always
be
knows makes Bobby Regan happy.
in the top 10 in the 450s the entire year.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever-
So I think it just justifies that second tier 450 money. And again, next year, Tomac's supposedly not coming back.
yeah, I think this is his last year.
So
Or 25,
okay,
sorry.
so
Go do WSX if he wants to keep racing.
yeah, so
Keep
that
making money.
that opens up that spot there. He just is basically there, just doing that, and then Webb retires in a couple of years or moves on to something else in a couple of years, and then yeah, I think that's where it is. I think that's what it is.
I agree.
So I don't necessarily see him leaving Star because I don't think he wants to.
I think if he continues to do what he does, his consistency, and somehow he doesn't end up on a factory team, I think that that'll actually be a big injustice to him because
I think
he's
so, too.
he's too consistent. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't get the flash outside of like when he puts heaters in and he's the fastest in practice, and you go, how the hell did that happen? But I mean, like if you want a guy that's just going to be top 10 all the time and sneak some top 5s in, Jay Coop's your guy. He's been that his entire career.
Yeah, and I could see him, you know, some of these guys start fizzling out. We got some retirement coming. He's just going to start hitting his stride in the 450 class. A couple moto wins, some overalls, like maybe not win a title outdoors, but he can definitely compete out there.
The only thing that I think that might work against him, but then again, a lot of these dudes that are going to be are on the older side. You got a lot of 250 dudes that are moving up in the next couple of years. And granted, he raced all of them and he's beat them, but we got a lot of 250 dudes that we know that like if they end up on a solid team, like they're also going to be.
There's going to be there's a lot of talent backed up. That's why I
There
think
is,
they need
dude.
to really take another look at the 250 class to have some career 250 guys.
There's a lot. Like right now, man, like I don't remember. You got something to say?
Worst finish last year was a 14th at San Diego in the mud.
I was about to
Outside
say.
of that, 11th in Glendale, and everything else was
And Glendale was a triple crown,
top
so
10.
like
yeah,
you could.
everything else was top 10.
Can't ask for much more out of a rookie.
But yeah, you get some of those 250 dudes.
And he made every single round.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of talent, and I can't think back to a time where we had this much like guys that are just this good all the way around. That might end up with just out rides.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree. There's got to be something done. We got to change because if this continues to happen, especially with like all these amateur kids getting signed,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
Star
there's-
signing half of them.
They gotta
Something's gotta
adjust the
change.
250 class and change this mentality of like if you don't get out of the 250 class, you're a chump. No, that's a place for a guy to make some second tier money.
Well,
Like,
what's also going to be a problem too is, and it's the last thing I say before we move on, is even though I think that Futures is the best thing we've had happen to like Supercross in a long time, it's going to also, I think, hurt in that sense because you're going to get a lot of guys out there that might just have these one-off, two-off rides where you're like, fuck, like I didn't think that kid was that good in Supercross. And what do we know these team owners like to do?
Yeah.
They like to pull the trigger and
Yeah.
fucking bring some kid in.
Let's pull the trigger on them after the season.
All the TLD, KTM guys can prove that. And then you get halfway and you're like, I guess he
Yeah.
really wasn't that good.
Yeah. Okay. You guys want to go to Tomac or Webb?
I think we should go to Webb.
Let's go to Webb. Tomac's on the. He's Mount Rushmore, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Is he hurt?
I mean,
Is it all bullshit that he's fine? Everything's fine. Situation's normal.
He didn't look fine.
He didn't look fine
he
at
didn't
all.
look fine.
There was not a lot of looking
That's
fine.
the same one that he's fucked up 3 times now.
And I understand. Oh, I got a stinger or whatever, but man, that didn't look like you had a stinger, brother. You
hang on.
laid there.
That's not gonna been a lot. That could even been
You
worse.
kneeled
Matt
down.
Moss
You walked
is
in a
the
circle.
Australian Vince Freeze.
Oh Lord,
Matt Moss is an asshole.
I'm not getting into that discussion.
Matt Moss is a squid. But anyway,
I'm not getting
He
into
is
that.
an asshole, dude. He will. Yeah. he'll
I
blow your
mean,
doors
that's my
off.
big question mark with Webb. So Webb looked super good. Now
Paris,
yeah.
he looked really fucking
Now
good.
again,
in
we
Paris.
try
First
not to
Oz
take
X
too much
Moto
out
was
of this.
Oh, yeah.
But he looked really good.
It's that flag gear.
But then the whole, it's weird. He's in that fucking Formula helmet too, right?
I like it. I like it.
It just first day he threw it on. He was just like, "Yep, that's it.
yeah, this is the day
Sign
it's
the
gonna
deal.
happen.
Sign the deal." But anyway, outside of that, that's my only question with him. Like, I think if he's not injured with that same thumb again that he's had issues with here, then I think we're okay. And I think he battles for this title because he's just fucking Cooper Webb, and that's just what he does.
I mean, you can't count him out.
No.
He is, like, for me, a lot of similarities with Chad Reed. Maybe not the most raw out, fast guy. Like Reed in a couple years of his career.
Yep.
And he's just there.
Yep.
And he ain't going away. And barring Jett Lawrence, if Jett Lawrence wasn't around next year, or last year, you're looking at a 3-time champ.
Well, no. Also, we gotta talk about the fact that how much Coop was riding injured at the end of that series too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
100%.
So,
if Coop doesn't get injured, he's gonna be there, and
Yeah.
he's gonna find a way.
it's just the only thing is if he is injured, because we all know it takes Coop a few rounds to get going and just kind of get everything nice and comfy, and also we know how much better he is on the East Coast rounds where you really have to think about and hey man, I'm gonna pick a rut and I'm cool with just dropping into this rut, and this is what I'm gonna do every lap after lap after lap, and all that kind of shit that we always talk about.
The other half of it too, he's smart enough and aware to know, hey, Jett's 4th, 5th place. He's back in the pack a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm right here with Sexton. I'm putting it on the line. Like that battle they had in, what was it, Seattle?
Oh, yeah.
Where his arms were as hard as morning wood. But nights
God, I
like
hope we get
that,
some more quotes like that this year.
I mean, he's going to pop a Cialis and ride that morning wood all the way to the top step of the podium.
That's a good one.
Holy shit! I think you could have worded that a little bit different, but he's gonna ride the morning wood. Yeah, I don't think his girlfriend would like that too much. Wife, whatever. No,
Yeah,
but
clip that.
How many wins does he get?
we talk about dick way too much.
We
on
just
this
lost
show.
Justin to dick jokes for the next
No,
45 minutes of the
Let me
show.
get on this one. How much does he win? I mean, how many wins did he get last year? Do you know?
I don't know. Hold
3,
on.
2,
I'll look it up.
3?
I'll look it
I
up.
think he gets 3 to 4.
I think the same amount as last year, man. To be honest with you,
Okay. Yep. Keep talking. Good
I
analysis.
think the same as last year. I think that I think maybe he could have had one more maybe at the end of the year, but once again he was riding injured, and obviously we all found that out. So I think it's just the same. Coop is going to do what Coop does.
Yeah.
But if he is injured, though, it does worry me a little bit that how many rounds is it going to take him to work through that?
He won 4 last year.
Okay, so 3-4. How many rounds is it going to take to work through him being injured? Because, if we don't have Mudfests and Jett, or whoever starts popping off some wins, it's not going to matter. We get halfway in or we get to round 5 or 6, whatever it is, Arlington or, Daytona, and if Coop's 20 points down because he rode injured for the first 3.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to give him 2 to 3 is where I'm going to go. I
Yeah,
originally
'cause
had
they're-
1 to 2, but I'm going to go 2 to 3.
I think it's just a
'cause he's
respect point at that point. Yeah.
He just has that grit in him
Yeah.
to be able to do it. Because
All
I'm
grit.
going to be a little harsher on a couple other people coming up here, but
I hope he just
Well-
doesn't fuck with Jett, though. I hope he doesn't get this,
oh, he's going to.
But I like that.
If he's in the realm, he's going to try to mind fuck him dude, he does it all the time.
But-
and that's part of Cooper Webb's charm, dude.
But
Which
I think
like
you should realize it doesn't
That's
really.
his brand.
That's his brand. It's
I think
on brand.
Yeah, I mean, he realized it didn't work with Eli. I think you should probably realize it hasn't worked with Jett.
Talk shit, but I'm not going to hit you.
None of these kids would hit anybody.
I don't know. Brees ain't scared. Brees was about to hit old boy in the parking lot.
Kyle Peters.
well-
Did you see Heath Harrison? That image of Heath Harrison just like looking like he was about to rip his head off.
Oh,
though?
Arena Cross is delivering. Maybe
Look,
we can hit on that during
look,
halftime.
I like Brian Brees, but I think Heath Harrison fuck him up.
All right, Eli Tomac.
Oh, dude, I'm ready for this year.
I'm ready.
I'm
Big
ready for
year
25.
Eli
He's
Tomac.
coming in 100%.
Oh, and dude,
And he looked good.
He's
ready for it.
He's on a wave of momentum right now.
He's cock locked and ready to rock here.
Oh, he's
Let me
ready for
fucking
that,
tell
boy.
you. I watched an interview with him that
He's got
Swap did the
morning
other
run all
day.
day long.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, I watched that. He's in Florida. So let me tell you this. So here's just a
Wasn't
little,
he at the
just,
press day shoot with Star?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's got.
Yeah, he's there till A1. So tell me that motocross and supercross in California is dead without telling me it's dead. No one's in California right now.
Everybody says that. It's like all the privateers are the only ones that are in. So and maybe Anderson, but he's probably going to be going to club soon. So
Yeah. So when Eli said that the other day that he's in Florida and not
In
in
SoCal?
California, I went, oh,
He's never in California anyway.
yes, he is.
He's always Colorado pre.
He goes 3 weeks before. That is
And he
what he
hates
has
every-
done.
he hates every
He
moment of
rents
it.
a house. He goes 3 weeks before. I've watched this for the last several years. He's out there for 3 weeks because he goes to Hemet or whatever. But everything's fucking. I mean, the Hemet's still open, but I think everybody's fucking nervous that everything's going to close at any given moment,
Especially in
as we're kind of
California.
seeing. So yeah. Now that being said, he is coming in 100%, ready to rock. I think he wins a couple.
I think he takes it to Jett in a couple races.
I think so too.
I think he's got a newfound motivation to not end his career on the note that he ended his career on. Theoretically ended his career, but he's back.
Yeah.
So, that guy's Jett Lawrence. Like he's like I feel I can beat this kid, and this kid isn't what everybody says he is. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. He won't come out and say it.
Yep.
But it just I just have that intuition that he does.
Oh yeah, and I think it irks him a little bit. I will say, in listening to that interview, this may be the retirement from U.S. Supercross, but I'm not sure this is the retirement. Period.
No, he goes to Worlds, Australia,
He
cleans up riding 50%.
was talking about how much he liked riding these and going
not as
different
much pressure.
places.
Not as much pressure. And he's never been a world traveler type person.
No,
but he's into it now.
No, yeah, that's what I
he's
mean.
Very,
Well,
he's
yeah,
very,
he's in the
you're
twilight
listening
of
to
his
that.
career.
one little taste of it. It's like
He's
I want to
very
see as
into
much
it.
of the other part of the world as possible.
I mean, dude, you could even go back to the 250 days or the first year when he went on the 450 when he was at Teushental in for MX of Nation when he had that crazy get off, and then the next year when he went to Kegums in Latvia, like him being overseas back then before he had the wife and kids. You could watch interviews with him or even just videos of them testing, and he looked fucking miserable. He's like, dude, this is not me. Like, I don't like doing this, which also goes back to way back to the amateur days, why they never did the whole, I'm going to do every fucking qualifier.
Yeah.
Like, he liked to stay within his little realm with John and his mom, Kathy, and he didn't like to go out of it. Well, now he's at the twilight of his career, and he's like, look, man.
But now
like,
him
no
and
pressure.
John are world travelers,
yeah,
bro.
World travelers, bro. Like, I don't give a shit.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
bro.
I'll go to World Supercross and ride it. He almost swept the thing.
I will
Dude,
say,
there were nights
I
where I'm
will
like-
say though, let's just before we continue down this Tomac road here, I will say with the way he's acting towards WSX and stuff like that, that is going to be something that I think Feld is going to have to be conscious of, is how these guys get treated when they go do these rounds, because it's going, and again, you and I were kind of talking about this before we recorded, if World Supercross continues the way it is, which is, I believe they're starting to do it right now, which is by not really competing with the other series or whatever, but there's going to be more guys that are going to do this because of the way they're treated when they go to these places.
Yeah.
And you're going to, Feld at some point will have to make an adjustment, and I'm not saying this is in the next even 5 years, but they're going to have to make an adjustment to how they treat these. It's not going to be like, yeah, we're giving you an option to be the show. They're going to have to make them feel like they're the fucking show.
But it's Feld and the OEM as well.
Yes,
The OEM,
yes.
like, Feld and OEM don't work with these riders, and WSX continues to go on the path it's going.
Yeah.
You might as well kiss a factory team goodbye, because no guy is going to sign up.
No.
That guy's going to go to Club MX instead. That guy's going to go to your Reeves team, because look
Yep.
how strong that team's looking right
Yeah.
now. Guys are going to start going that direction.
Yeah.
And it might be the death of a factory team unless they make a change. So.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, just in listening to the way that Tomac talked about this, because Tomac is a guy that if you'd have asked me 2 years ago, how's his career going to end, he'll probably win the titles and then just boom off to the sunset or whatever. Not, hey, he's gonna do this last year of SMX and then go, you know what, I could do a couple of years of WSX, because how's that gonna look here? Like, what is the rhetoric gonna be about that if you see him literally say like, hey, I'm out on the American Supercross motocross series, but I'm gonna go do this 4 or 5 round Supercross series over here for the next couple of years. That's a weird look in my opinion, because we haven't seen that, right? Like Ricky didn't fucking do that. James didn't do that. Brayton kind of has been doing that, but again, Brayton's popular amongst the hardcore fans, but he's not.
He ain't a Ricky Carmichael or an Eli Tomac.
So I also think you're going to see Eli show up at some GPs that he's always wanted to do. Some of the sand tracks like Lomel and Valkenswaard.
Maybe.
I would love it. I
haven't heard that per se, but
well, I'm saying if he goes down the path that you're talking about, where he just does like, hey, I'm gonna do the WSX and maybe I'll do some stuff like that.
The thing I think with
Yamaha, he can do it.
Yeah, and the thing I think with the WSX though is that he does. I think the training load would be a lot less to be able to still be really competitive with
only
it.
have 3 rounds, and they're going to 5 or 6.
Where like if he goes to do an MXGP, I don't know about that.
I think he'll do it just to have fun, though. I don't think he's going to go there expecting to win. I think it's more of a fun thing.
I think he can go there and train 80% and still win.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if he's lining up, like, no disrespect to Savachi and Dean Wilson, but it's like,
oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
100%.
I think Eli. I think that he is a little pissed off at the narrative about the whole Jett thing. I think he obviously respects Jett, but I think that this last year did not go the way he wanted it to.
Yeah.
We talked about his struggles with his fitness in Supercross, and then outdoors he came on strong. You know, when he came back after, only 2 rounds, and then MX of Nations, there was a little bit of a flicker, but we still knew he wasn't there. SMX went good, and then obviously now. But I think the difference that you're going to see with Eli is him knowing that this is his actual final full year of American racing. I think the times in the past where, what's the whole joke everybody talks about, like Eli Tomac, where he would show up and the bike would be off and you just watch him and you're like, dude, why is
going on with this
why
guy?
is he struggling so bad? I think those nights where if the bike is off a little, and I'm not saying he's going to arrow himself into the ground to try to win, but I think those nights where it was more about the championship and him, hey man, I got 7th tonight, bike's a little bit off, I'm pumping up for whatever reason, I'm going to take the points. I think you're going to see him go to the next level. Not so much that he blows himself out, because obviously he's got a kid and family, he's at the end of his career and he's made a lot of money. But I think those nights in the past where he just, hey, I'll take the points, I think now he's just going to lay it all on the line. I think that there's going to be because, dude, there was a couple times in WSX where he got real sketch, and I'm like, why the hell is he going this far to try to beat Kenny when he did? And it's like, dude, I think he just wants to prove that he still is the baddest fucking dude on the planet on a dirt bike when he wants to be. Yeah. Whether it works out for him, who knows? But we've all said this since, last year and talking about the Jett versus Eli, that Eli might be the only dude on the planet, as far as Supercross goes, that when they're 100 and 100 and they're going deep into the red, Eli might be the only dude that actually can match Jett full stop.
For the whole distance.
For the whole distance. Because I don't think his cardio issues, because I remember when I said I think Eli only had 15 minutes in him. And then it got proven a lot of times in Supercross last year. He only had 15 minutes in him.
So he made a comment on that swap interview. He was like, look, I went into the season thinking I was 100%. And he's like, I was not 100%.
No.
He's like, I
think we saw that at Daytona.
And he's like, you realize that really quick. He's like, but when you are coming off an injury like I was coming off of, it was kind of like, oh, and he's like, I got on the bike late. I didn't get on until November and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So, yeah, like I said, I think it's different. But I think he wins a couple this year.
I think he takes it to the end. I think he battles for this title.
I agree with that, too. I don't know how many he's going to win, because, once again, it's kind of like the Jett Lawrence thing. Like, Jett's the overwhelming favorite, so I don't really know. But I think it's going to be more than we expect. If Eli shows up with everything he's talking, because, saying I haven't felt this good since I did at the beginning of 2022 and 2023, I think it's just going to be an Eli. I think this might be a pre-2020 Eli, like the nights when he was on Cowie.
He said he's
like
coming
Salt
in
Lake
2023.
2017. Remember when he was dead last and ran Dunge down and then just dropped him?
Yeah.
Or Detroit. I think that's going to be this guy. So if that guy shows up, it's going to be a problem for everybody. It's going to be a great fucking season, though.
I mean, we saw those little glimmers last year, too, where, and I love when guys do this, but I don't remember where it was, but he got out front. Jett was in third or whatever and kind of working his way. But first 15 minutes, Eli was way out front and then uncorked the rhythm section. Nobody hit.
Was that the
all
Triple
day.
Crown? The night that Jett got into it with Barsha?
No, this was another one. But it was like roll on off big one triple, but he was going double over table and then hit the triple over the big one.
Yep.
Nobody did it all day.
Yeah.
And Jett tried to follow him over it and got sketchy. I don't know if you remember.
I think that was an East Coast round, right?
East Coast round.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch.
But little things like that were like where it was still there. Where, for the first 15 minutes when he pulled that out and nobody knew about it, he was gone.
Yeah.
And he ran out of steam.
Yeah.
But that older mentality of guys that race against Stewart or that kind of stuff where you save some shit for the main. I think that's awesome.
Eli's kind of that only guy left. Which I do think is going to be the one bummer that when Eli finally does decide to retire, because I know that we have Ando and Barsha and all those guys, but obviously they 2022 Ando, but we haven't seen like those peak guys. They haven't been at their peak for a long time, whereas Eli has been winning championships. Like when Eli's done, like and him and me always talk about this. It's hard for me because to me he he's the version of the last what you're talking about, like gritty as fuck. Like I will do anything to win. Like the old school. I don't give a fuck about anybody. This is my time. I'm the best dude on the planet. We're not saying that Jett doesn't have those qualities, but like we've talked about, Jett's kind of just going with it, and he's just kind of there, and he's just really fucking talented or whatever. Whereas when Eli's gone, it's the last of a generation, in my opinion.
It's truly a year of old school versus new school.
It is,
and we're gonna see it.
Yep. So
especially when Eli starts doing the thing with his neck or whatever he fucking does.
No, I know he's pumped when he's on woodpecking on the podium, dude.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, that's when you know he's pumped. That's when you know he's pumped.
How'd that heat go for it? Man, it was great.
Really good. Like, yo, bro, I got to start. It was fucking good.
Yeah, the motorcycle's working.
Motorcycle was great, man. Really pumped
He never
here.
calls it the bike. It's the motorcycle.
It's the motorcycle.
Star Racing Yamaha. Yeah.
Bro, you got a kink in your neck? Like, what's wrong with you right now?
Dude, he's fucking funny, man. He's low-key funny.
Yeah.
I
wish you'd see
love
more.
this version of Eli.
Oh yeah, this version's great. But again, there we go. You went from loved to hated.
Yeah, exactly.
Living legend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show you a video, but it's Duffy. I think it's Duffy, right?
Yeah.
He's in the Star Shop with like a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
And Eli's just sitting there minding his own business. He's hiding in the corner. Fucking shoots this rocket across at Eli, and Eli just goes, "Ugh." Like just funniest reaction
awesome.
ever. Was like, holy shit, dude.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
All right, let's move on. We'll do one more team before we get to halftime here. So KTM. Let's start with AP.
Got a lot to say here.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Let's start with AP.
I feel like I don't have a lot to say.
Well, I have a lot to say about this team in general. I guess more so the next guy.
I think
I mean,
with
same
AP,
team as next year or as last year.
I think with AP we see a lot of the same, but I don't know that he wins a race.
I was about to say a lot of the same. We can't forget he had the red plate at one point.
He did.
I don't know if I agree with that.
He did, but I think he's again another solid dude, and I think he has another solid year.
What does that look like for you, though?
That solid year to me, though, is just like
top five,
a spot or two farther back than what he was last year.
Does he get a podium?
Which I don't know what he was.
Does he get podiums?
Yes.
Okay, I got to disagree with you on that.
You don't think he's going to podium at all?
That's the only thing I got to disagree with you on is I don't think he can get podiums.
Really?
I just don't think so. Not a shot against AP. I love AP.
As much as I love AP, I think last year will be his best season ever.
I think that last year was definitely, use a fancy term, an aberration. That was not a normal thing for AP. Like I don't.
No, I definitely think that's who he is. Like I definitely think that's.
I think he's that good, but I don't like it. Kind of just piggybacking. That's going to be his this year. I don't think that year he'll ever be able to replicate that.
That's what I mean. Like that was his peak of a year.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, you even saw it in outdoors, man. Like when he was on, like he was battling up there with Eli, or not with Eli, but with Chase and Hunter and all that.
Couple weird small things where he just couldn't close the deal. Yeah.
But I disagree on the podium. I don't think he can get a podium. I think if it's a mud race, yes, but I think that you're going to be hard pressed to see him get a podium if everyone is healthy this year.
Two podiums, one win last year.
Yeah, man.
Red plate for a little while too.
Red plate for a little while. Yeah.
Didn't he lose it in Detroit? Was Detroit the round that he lost it?
I think it was Glendale.
Like
2 years ago.
It was Glendale because he started. He went 4-5, 1-3-6, and then went 10th at Glendale. So
and then Detroit made it worse too. If I remember.
Well, Detroit was before Glendale, so maybe he lost it in Detroit with that 6. I don't know. Like I said, I think we see a lot of the same. I think you're probably right. Like top fives here because you look at it, and he, like I said, he went 4-5, 1-3, 6-10, 3, 18 at Daytona, 8-6, 4-4, and they missed the last couple rounds, I guess.
And that 18 at Daytona was definitely not a normal thing for him either.
So I guess top 5 guy. it wouldn't surprise me if he sneaks a podium in because he because it's just like, dude, you go down the list and it's just like random people get podiums all the time.
He put him on my random podium list for sure. Not a for sure podium, but
yeah. So
better if it's a mud race. If it's dry and normal, definitely goes down.
All right. Who wants to fucking shit on Sexton first?
I don't want to shit on Sexton.
Here's where I'll go with this.
Okay.
I'm very interested. Obviously, he's saying all the right things. I mean, and I think he's pretty transparent when it comes to the bike sucking, stuff like that. But
you
this
think
year,
so? Did you hear about last year?
Well, last year he was having meltdowns, and he's come out and said he's had meltdowns.
We didn't hear about that. We didn't hear about that last year.
Fired Zim halfway into the year.
Everything was fine last year. He didn't fire Zim.
No, I know.
I know. I am very interested to see where the bike is. That's going to be number one. Mm-hmm. Man, if the bike's good and he's happy, he can run with those guys. He's a contender, and then we talk about going the distance. That kid is in shape. He can go the distance.
Oh, dude, I've been watching his boot camp shit on his channel.
Oh,
don't get him fired up.
We're going to get into that.
You obviously didn't look at the notes, and I did.
No, you didn't. You should have looked at the notes. That's coming up as a rant.
We got to listen to his rant on
still.
But either way, I think the kid's in shape. You may disagree with me.
I mean, he's in shape. That's fine.
I don't think anybody disputes that.
I think he can go the distance, but you're going to disagree with me because I know it's coming. I got a crystal ball here. But the other thing that I'm worried about is all the noise around KTM right now.
Which is some fucking... Oh, yeah. Well, you were talking about something.
Like, I am concerned about... they're going to tell him everything's fine. Mm-hmm. What if shit really hits the fan?
I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks.
Bike goes bye-bye. Team goes bye-bye. This might be a guy that finds him... And it sounds fucking crazy, but this guy could find himself in a situation where... Let's go super crazy. He's leading the points. Red plate. Team folds.
They're out of money.
What's he going to do?
Because I'm with you here because I don't give a fuck what they say. They're doing damage control, right? Mm-hmm. We've watched this start last year. We watched it start when we started hearing the rumors that the Gas and Husky team was going to essentially merge, or one was going away and one was staying, and everybody was moving to one team and all this bullshit. Mm-hmm. And we all kind of went, huh? That's really fucking weird. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden you have them come out and be like, oh, by the way, we're restructuring. Our stock price is tanking. We don't have money. Oh, no, that's Europe. KTM USA is solid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too. Because if you don't say that, all these dudes are going, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, like they're... If he can block out that noise outside of what's going on.
That, I think, is going to be a contributing factor here, especially if shit... Because here's the thing, is like, this is stuff we won't know right away, but by mid-season we'll know, because what'll happen is if they're out of money, they're not going to pay bonuses, and all it's going to take is a couple of missed bonuses there, and we're going to start hearing about it, because they're going to start talking to people going, yeah, so I podiumed the first 3 rounds, and my fucking quarterly bonus for my... podiums didn't come in. Like, what the fuck, And that'll be a fucking problem. And then that's going to start noise, and that will shitball the rest of the season. 100%. Now, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. I don't know KTM's financials. All I know is, if you're looking at it from the outside, it doesn't look fucking good.
It doesn't look good.
Well, did you hear that they were spending $90 million a year on MotoGP?
That's crazy.
$90 million. Do you want to know what the normal teams are spending? 30.
Well, you want to hear
spending that because they got to.
They were trying to catch up. Yeah,
well, you want to hear a little bit of a crazy rumor too, but I don't. Sure. I think you can look at it and
we love crazy TLR tinfoil hat.
You can look at it and go, it's not. I mean, I guess it's not going to be. A lot of people that watch the show aren't going to be as concerned with it, but it goes down this road.
No, let's hear it.
So obviously the GPs over there and stuff, like everybody talks about, like Koonin going to the 450 and DeCarli going from gas and going over to the KTM side, and then with Nastan and Kai de Wolf and Liam Everts and a lot of their 450 guy leaving. Rumor is that like the only reason they're even going forward with KTM and Husky over there is because DeCarli and the guy who runs Nastan are the ones funding the whole fucking thing.
That doesn't surprise me.
Like, because they went up, because Kai did a interview with somebody and they were talking about him with Supercross.
Gypsy, probably.
No, it wasn't. No, I'm not talking about like did a written interview.
Oh,
not
gotcha,
like he was honestly on with Jace. But they were talking about that, like him doing Supercross and like, yeah, like I really want to test my skills, but I don't really know, like moving forward, like, man, maybe because I really like being over here, GP, going to MXGP. But yeah, if the offer comes through, and then they were like the guy, I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Lewis. Asked him the elephant in the room. He's like, well, we got to ask it. Like, what about with everything going on with KTM? And like Kai didn't necessarily dodge it, but he just basically goes, well, that's not really for me. That's above my pay grade. But, like, my owner at Nastan, like, they take care of everybody, and they'll keep things going. It's kind of like, oh, so you can kind of read between the lines. It's kind of like, huh. So the only reason KTM and Husky even have a team over there is pretty much because of Claudio De Carli and the guy who runs Nistan.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull's fitting the bill here.
Can you imagine?
I don't think Lucas and Sasha are coming to KTM next year. I bet they're on a different team. I bet they're on a different team. They're not.
The whole KTM thing, in my opinion, is up in the air right now.
They'll be on a totally different team.
Can you imagine we get to Fox Raceway and there's just no Red Bull KTM and no Husky Gas Rockstar?
So what? And that puts Sexton in a very vulnerable spot.
That puts everybody.
Sexton, I think, he could maybe work his way to getting parts or something like that and keep his guy.
I mean, my question is,
but
what the fuck happens at that point?
Well, think about the dudes.
What the fuck do you even do?
Think about the dudes that are on that banner from over here in the GPs. You have Sexton, AP, Vialle, Boomer. You have Ryder D, Cochran, RJ, Malcolm, and Barsha. And then over in the GPs, you have Adamo, Coonens, Sasha, and Lucas.
It's a lot of
You still
talent.
have Hurlings. You have Marc-Antoine Rossi. You have Kai de Wolf. You have Liam Everts. And then you have Simon Langenfelder. Think about if that whole thing folds, and I know that that's a small micro part of everything if it folds, but you think about those names. All the names from both series that might end up without a fucking ride.
Yeah.
Like, that's like fucking 95% of the dudes in both series that battle for titles or top fives.
So if you want to go this road, I got a simple fix to that. Just give all these teams a little bit of the TV money so they can hire a third guy.
No, we're not going that road.
We can talk about
that's
that.
a whole video in itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it will be, as long as we're just going to continue on the KTM bankruptcy situation here before we get back to Sexton. I believe
it all ties to Sexton, though.
Yeah, it does. But we'll get back to specifically talking about Sexton. Anyway, but I think the GPs will be a good tell. So they don't start till what? End of February?
End of February, early March.
So seeing how those teams roll will kind of, I think, determine, like, is KTM USA going to make it through the year, in my opinion.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. I didn't think about
Because if shit's real fuggity over there, and by that time we'll have been hearing, because somebody on the KTM will have had to have gotten a bonus by then.
It'll ripple
that
effect
won't
over to here.
that won't show up. Then I think we'll be able to really start going, ooh, is something going to happen here?
And so you'll hear about it too right away, because if it's Hurlings, Liam Everts, or if it's one of the Coonens, and they don't get a bonus.
Do you want to know who really put it out there? Hurlings.
Oh, fucking Hurlings!
Hurlings will bail out before the season starts.
He'll be like, I'm out. Like, I'll
if
go
he
over
sees
there.
something,
go
he'll
find
go.
somebody.
And you know another guy, if he sees something, and I think will go, is DeCoster.
I don't know about that.
I think he just says, "Hey, I'm deciding to retire. I'm done."
Okay,
And
that's a good point too.
retirement right
That's
there,
a good
like,
point
that's
too.
the-
Could
that's the
signal
sign.
stuff too. The thing that sucks over here, getting back to the U.S. side of things, is that you've got Cochran,
Ryder D.
and Ryder D. What are they going to do? They're basically going to end up as privateer dudes. I mean,
X.
like they don't have money to
another
keep going.
poorly managed career, Ryder D.
Yeah. Then you've got
You're fucking right, dude.
then you've got Stu. Okay, what does Stu do?
Probably retire.
Does Stu? I don't know.
Stu
He
or
seems
Barsha.
excited. Do him and Barsha go like, hey man, we've been having a great time at Baker's. Do you think we could just like get a fun hauler and like move some bikes around here to
Barsha's already
ride the
proven
rest
he'll
of the
pay his
year?
own money to go race,
Yeah,
but
Barsha-
Stu, I
yeah.
don't know, man.
Yeah. No.
Stu-
well, I
Stu
mean,
might
Malcolm,
team up with-
ponied up and
this
put
is
his
the
own team out
Suzuki
there.
squad, maybe, but
Sexton has enough money to
Get through the end
make
of the
some
season.
deal with KTM to basically keep himself going on the equipment he's got.
Juju will end up on another team. He's going to be on a team no matter what different
Juju
team.
would probably end up like a Club MX deal
then
or
you have-
something
Again,
like that.
for the
Then you have-
listeners,
and-
a lot of what if.
But then you have
Yeah.
Tom and AP.
This is all like speculation stuff, but like this is legitimate real world shit. Like KTM's fucking broke.
You know who I actually feel, and people are going to call me a homer, but the one guy I feel the worst for is Tom, because he fucking upends his career over in the GPs to come over here,
Wins a
a title, wins a
Yeah.
fucking title, and then all of a sudden, yeah, man, the brand that you've been riding with pretty much your entire career since you've been a professional, sorry, doesn't exist
And
anymore.
all the other teams are full because they don't have a TV budget.
So it's like, oh, Oh, that's cool. Like, I don't, like, yeah.
No, I mean, I was told when we were talking about this initially when it came out, they're like, dude, KTM will have more money than ever because once you go into bankruptcy court, like, you don't have to pay any of your bills anymore. So, but
the one guy I feel worse for all of this
I don't know.
is Pitt Buyer over in Europe because he's been running such a good program within the motorsports
for a long
thing,
time.
and now it's not his fault that his fucking owners don't know how to manage money and shit. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
I don't know. It's such an interesting situation. I'll tell you what, I did not think we would see something like this.
Well,
if they fold,
At least
That-
not out of
they,
them.
they have a,
You could have showed me this in Triumph, and I'd have been like, all right.
basically like a General Motors bankruptcy kind of thing where they're restructuring and blah blah blah. But I don't even know. I just lost my train.
It's
of
still
thought.
going to
It'll
take.
come back.
It's still going to take years to get fully
Oh.
flushed out what the fuck's going to happen with
And
it.
they keep saying what KTM North America
is solid.
What is
That's-
KTM North America? Because the building out in California clearly says Pierre Mobility on the front of it.
Yeah, but bro, this is the North American branch, and I'm like, that doesn't matter if the money doesn't come in from Europe, bro. Like,
and
and
I don't
again,
think they do as well over in Europe.
Does
with selling
Europe
bikes.
send does KTM or Pierre Mobility Group, whatever you want to call it, world headquarters, do they send you all your budget right off the rip? Because it's highly doubtful that
The budget's
that
coming
happens.
from over there.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
in different stages. So like, yeah, you may have it right now to go, and that's one of the things too. If I kind of think about what has been put out there, press releases and interviews and stuff, is yeah, we're solid, we're going racing. Okay, for how long? Like, you could say you're going racing, and yeah, maybe you're set up to go racing January, February, March, Q1, but what happens in Q2?
Yeah, it's just what goes first because there's one piggy bank subsidizing all the other stuff
Yeah.
right now, and it obviously sounds like they're not subsidizing the MXGP series.
No.
Fuck no.
And I will say there is a little bit of a glimmer of hope because I think they are putting all their eggs into the U.S. markets race teams.
We'll
it
see.
does sound like
No, they're
but
putting it all into MotoGP because they were going to sell street bikes.
they're still doing. Are they still gonna though?
I don't know what the fuck's going on
MV
with
Augusta, that brand can go.
that. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard anything.
Put MV Augusta
I
up
don't know
for
about
sale.
that.
Let Ducati buy that or something.
So, all right, so let's get back to Sexton here. So on his last year on KTM here,
right?
Oh yeah, this is the last year KTM for sure. That he looked at the dollar signs on that deal. I think.
So here is my thought on this. Him and his dad, whatever it is, the technical side of riding, are technically perfect. But here's what I think: they cannot set up a bike. Period. End of discussion. I think I had this epiphany the other day, and I'm probably wrong, but whatever.
Maybe not open-minded enough either.
No, Kier focuses on watching what Chase is actually doing himself and not what the bike's doing. Where you look at like Dazzy is watching the bike and then secondarily watching the boys. Which I don't
even know if he's even working on the technique with them. He's just
No,
the bike
it's-
because how
it's-
are you gonna tell Jett and Hunter to?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much at that point. Yeah, whereas maybe
You always need
he
somebody in
hasn't
your ear.
turned the leaf and be like, "Hey, our technique's good. Let's not
Yeah.
touch that anymore. Let's focus on the other part of our program."
yeah, because between the comments that were made by Dazzy of the people before them at Honda didn't know how to develop a bike, aka Chase, okay, and then what we've seen here with KTM. Did you guys hear where they were openly talking about how last year, 2 weeks before A1, he wasn't even hitting the whoops at the practice track? That's how bad that bike was last year.
That's not good.
He was literally going around the whoops, not riding full motos at the practice track 2 weeks, or maybe it was even the week before A1 last year. That's how bad that bike was. Is it better? Sure. But this goes back to what you were saying of like, oh, well, he's pretty transparent. We said that last year too,
Yeah, I
but
guess you're
apparently
right.
we were not because it was way worse than what it was even
I guess
relayed
you're
to
right.
us.
And I think that's definitely a KTM filter put on him.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced it's better this year. I'm not fully convinced that is better. We'll see, but
I think there's going to be so much noise that has nothing to do with actually riding a dirt bike that it's just going to be a shit.
It's going
year
to be
for him.
all noise.
Does
just
he
around
win?
The team, dude.
does
I
he
think-
win a race?
I think he
can
wins
win
a race. I think he wins a
can-
couple, but I think that as far as him winning this fucking title, there's no shot.
I had 1 to 2.
Which
period.
is
Yeah,
such
I
a
don't think
bummer.
he does either.
It's such a bummer.
Yeah.
He
You come
doesn't-
off that outdoor title, no matter whether Jett was there or not, and then what happened to SMX not being for himself, wanting to go to MX of Nations and represent his country, and then just
Yeah, I think there's too much noise around
too
him.
much
man.
noise.
If he was, again, I'd love to see him on a green bike, but even if he was on that blue bike,
But how would you think
this
it would
would be
go?
a whole different conversation, and I think we'd be talking to him. He's head to head with Jett every single weekend.
And I know your thing about the Kawasaki thing, and I know that's come out, but like even if he went to Kawasaki, I think that that's not a good move for him because just talking about him not being able to set up a bike, what do we know Kawasaki? And if you want to take yourself out of this conversation, Kawasaki doesn't. They don't have any leeway with a lot of these guys.
Where do you think he goes though?
I honestly believe that he would end up at Star.
Yeah.
I really do. I've been beating that drum for a while now, and I know that he tested that bike. And for all the comments, like, did you say in the video about him testing the bike?
Yeah, I did. I said they didn't like Star because I basically broke it down. I'm like, okay, here's where he can go. So you have Husky, Gas, KTM are completely off the table, right? He ain't going back there after this year. He's not going back to Honda because you have Jett and Hunter just blotching out the sun, and they're not going back to 3 riders there. So you basically have Star, Suzuki, Triumph, Kawasaki, and Ducati. He's not going to go to Ducati and Triumph because he's not going to develop a bike.
No.
He can't, basically. No. He lacks that.
He's not going to Suzuki
thing.
to a second
He's
tier.
not going to Suzuki because Suzuki can't afford him. And let's face it,
Kawasaki
Sexton.
and Star make the big most.
I think he goes to
Kawasaki or Star makes the most. But again, he didn't like the Star bike is what I'm being told. So,
but I see, and once again, I know that you know, I can imagine where you've heard that from. But see, all I remember hearing is, and maybe I heard it wrong, is not the detesting part, that he just basically straight up said, and maybe this was behind the scenes, and this is what he said publicly, he just went, I don't know how fucking Eli goes this fast on this bike. Now, if you want to say that that's like detesting it, I guess you could actually put that into because that also does line up with it. That's all I remember hearing is he's like, I don't know how Eli goes this fast.
He would have tested he would have tested an early version of a 23, right? It's 24 is not a new model, right?
Is it,
no, 24 is
did it sound like maybe the speed of it or chassis? Because
I think
they
it was
can
just
move they can move
just
the power around.
just chassis, just not knowing how Eli goes as fast as he does with the way that bike is, the ergonomics of it. That's all I heard. Now, if you want to say that that's detesting, I can also pick out of that it's like, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of like, God, this bike is not what I thought it was. So yeah, like maybe that's what it is, but I still think he goes to Star only because of the comments we're talking about. He can't set up a bike. Going to Cowie is not going to make it great. And then it's like, okay, well, you're going to Cowie. That means the Ando's gone. And then you got Prado. And Prado, depending on what he does in Supercross, and we know how good he's going to be outdoors, that's like he's not blotching out the sun like Jett and Hunter are, but he's blotching out half of it.
Yeah.
Does Chase really want to go to a team where it's like, oh, am I the...
I don't know. Like, so the only two that even remotely make sense are Star and Kawasaki,
Exactly. Yeah,
as far
that
as
is
I'm
definitely...
concerned. But I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting year with him. It's really crazy to think that he won a Supercross title 2 years ago, and now we're like, yeah, I'm not even sure he can win a fucking race.
Anyone's an outdoor title this year.
It's just a lot. It's just weird noise, dude.
Yeah.
Shows the fluidity of this sport these days.
He's just had such an interesting career.
I'm going to go back to it, and it's never going to change. Give the teams more money so they can have a third rider. Simple as that.
Yeah, let's go back to the old days, man, where we had Star does. Star's got 450 dudes.
But I think they're smart. Like
they are.
This is...
Well, I mean... Bobby doesn't have any kids, and he's just determined to spend all his money before he dies.
But no, I think the other part of it, too, is how much are these guys paying for his facility every year? 60, 70 grand?
What do you mean?
You know, how much is Roxon paying to be at... the Moto Sandbox or whatever.
Oh,
60, 70?
30, 35 for a whole year.
40 grand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop at most. Maybe not even that because you're so I know that if you're a privateer guy, you will pay anywhere. The last number I heard was about 25 grand for the whole, or for Supercross and motocross, but that's without pitting inside and a few other things. So yeah, that in it probably the cost a little bit more, but then again too, like I said, if you're a marquee guy who's going to draw other people there, I don't know.
And I think if you're a team, you can leverage that, and I think that's exactly what Star's doing. You go to a guy like Carson Wood who's stuck in California riding the beat ass test track.
Yeah,
be like, hey, instead of $100 grand a year, let's give you 60, and you have this whole facility to ride at all year, and you're covered by Progressive Insurance.
Yep.
Boom, done. That's why they have 1,500,000 riders.
Yeah.
You know what's going to suck for Florida, though? And I know we're getting off track with this comment, this stuff, but it's going to suck for Florida if everybody's getting out of SoCal. Same thing's going to happen. Even now, granted, I understand that the layout of Florida is not like California where, you don't have the fucking, the 5 where everybody's on it at all times, whereas in Florida, it's the 75 or whatever.
No, it's I-4.
Yeah.
You got I-4 down there.
But it's like, Florida's going to become the same thing SoCal did.
Yeah,
if everybody goes to Florida.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, so that wraps up KTM, and that wraps up the first half of our 450 review here. So we're going to jump into our Complete Racing Solutions halftime report, and this month we're going to spotlight the Coach Rob Knowledge Bot, which is available to Complete Racing Solutions members. If you've ever had a question for Coach Rob, the Coach Rob Knowledge Bot is an AI tool unlike anything else in the industry. They've actually trained it to learn exactly what Coach Rob would say, do, etc., compared to other AI software that kind of just pulls from the whole internet. This specifically pulls from Coach Rob. So take advantage of this tool. Become a member today for as little as $15 a month. CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Link in the description down below there. All right, halftime report. Can I just say, I think it's great that we've got a French broadcast now, but I am so fucking sad that I don't get to listen to DV's commentary.
Oh, dude.
Is that not going to be epic?
I saw that. I saw they release that, and I was like, holy shit, that is a star-studded lineup.
The other guy from France, who's the main person, great. Marv, great. DV, oh my god!
I know. Are they going to be able to translate this to English?
Fuck, I hope so. Can you imagine the shit he's going to talk?
The only thing I would have loved to have is Marv, DV, and get Roncada on there.
I mean, that'd be pretty good
get
too.
Roncada if you want to go old school. Get Jean-Michel Bale.
Yeah, and I think they could only just expand. I mean, if they have Race Day Live in a French form, then...
Are they still going to have also the Spanish broadcast with TJ Rios and Edgar Lopez?
Yeah,
that's fucking
TJ
Rios! Yo, that's... Football! Sorry, wrong sport. I think it's awesome, though.
Oh, shut!
I mean, I'm okay with them expanding like this.
100%.
So what's next? Chinese?
No.
Indian?
The dirt bike market I don't think is big enough in China yet.
I mean, I think
it's
a
okay, but
which sounds really fucking stupid.
Pause, though. You're looking at this wrong. When we go into these markets, we're not selling sport bikes and dirt bikes. We're selling fucking scooters.
Oh, yeah.
So Chinese or
Middle Eastern.
Indian.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, but we don't have any
Middle
Chinese
Eastern
representation until Joe Shimoda retires.
Well, that
or
doesn't
Akira
matter.
Narita and all that. I think they need some star power.
Middle Eastern, only because, like, obviously with Abu Dhabi and Dubai and Bahrain and all them, they want to, like, obviously we know that they are so into Formula One.
Yes.
You know, and they're trying to build these different motorsports areas. I think the Middle East will be the next one. And then if you want to go to, like, the German-speaking broadcast or, like, the Belgian, shit like that. But, like, yeah, I mean, I think the only one we'll never have, and this is, once again, not getting political. This is not a shot. I just don't think we'll ever have a Russian-speaking. Because I don't think, we don't think of Russia and dirt bikes.
No.
Like, we had Bobby Shrev, Evgeny Bobby Shrev, Russian Bob. Like, there's never really been a legit Russian.
I think these three markets are about all you need, really.
I mean, they're the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, Spanish, the second most spoken language in the world.
I don't know. Whatever the Indians speak, Hindu or whatever it is, I'm not sure what they speak exactly. I'm being ignorant,
I don't know. We'd have to do some Google research.
But I know.
Hey, Jamie.
I know the scooter thing market there is huge,
and
which is why you have like the Indian Supercross League or whatever now.
And the French thing is because, like, I mean, look how many talented French dudes have come through. Like, you can't. It actually surprises me that it's taken us this long to get a French-speaking broadcasting.
It's ironic that we went to French because the market itself there is super tiny.
I got the
like
third.
France is a small country.
Fans,
I have the third market with most passionate fans, and I don't know what language they speak, so maybe I'm an idiot.
Brazil.
What are they
Portuguese.
That's the next one.
Dude, they actually, I watched some of their stuff when, like, from the end of their series, their outdoor series.
When
their
Dino
tracks, with Lopes.
Yeah.
Their tracks are garbage. They have cool scenery.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's in Brazil.
It's Brazil.
But it's like, dude, you look at some of those guys. Like, I remember watching the last round at Lopes when he got, like, a dead last start and worked his way up into fifth. I understand you're at home. You're familiar with these tracks. Some of those dudes down there are pretty fucking legit, to be honest with you.
I think Brazil, I mean, their fans are so passionate, too. Now you look at, Dino went down there, did like 2-3 races or whatever. You should see his Instagram comments. They're all Portuguese.
They're wild, man.
And then
I mean,
Enzo Lopes, like anytime any media outlet posts about Enzo Lopes.
They love him down there, bro. They love him.
It's insane. So I would say that, and I guess I don't really know the blueprint of other motorsports. How many other different languages are there in some of the other sports?
I think you just named, though, the big ones. I mean, like I said, it's Spanish, French, Brazilian, and then with the Middle East, only because that market, like, what you could have there is so big because there's just so much money.
Yeah. All right. Some stuff we kind of touched on. Vialle switched to Alpinestars gear.
Ooh.
I think it looks fresh, bro.
Interesting.
Good with that number 1 on there.
Thor's losing a lot of market share right now.
Well,
yeah, and I don't know why that is, because Thor's always been known to spend a lot of money.
I think people just don't like the gear.
I know why, because it's just ugly.
Yeah, they
It
haven't
hasn't
done a
been
lot with
updated
it.
in a
Thor
long
stuff
time.
hasn't
Yeah.
looked good in a very long time.
As much as I
dude.
like Thor and I've told why I support the people at Thor, like, dude, they haven't really done anything crazy since like the core days.
I
Yeah.
haven't done anything cool, dude. Like,
It's been a long time.
Like 04, 05 was the glory days.
Remember when
Maybe the Villapoto Volcom stuff was about the last good stuff I
The
saw.
Yeah.
Nico Volcom stuff was cool, but remember when it was like Thor and Fox, and then it was just everybody else.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
now it's yeah.
So I think that's a big thing. I mean, you go to a dealership, it's probably still on the shelves. So
How about some of the? I don't know if this is probably not on there, but like
okay,
we're
it's
just.
half
How
half.
about some of the Monster logos getting pulled from some guys' helmets?
Shimoda,
Shimoda
Yeah,
lost
Shimoda.
that, so that's interesting.
they aren't supporting anybody on personal deals.
Which is
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you found out now?
That's what I saw somewhere.
Yeah.
So Hymus got pulled, so obviously he's Red Bull guy
Yeah.
now. Joe Shimoda, no more Monster logo.
well, and
Who else was
who
a
got that?
personal guy?
What's his name? Got the deal for Joe. Myrtle, I guess, had a hand in that.
The Monster deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, who else had personal deals? Hardy Munoz kind of had a half-ass personal
Yeah.
Monster deal too, so it'd be interesting to see what he shows up with.
What about the Hill brothers? Josh had one.
Josh had one because he worked for Monster.
Oh, okay.
Worked.
Worked.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
worked.
Well, I guess it'll be interesting to see what pops up on Josh Hill's helmet.
Yeah.
And
Probably something
it'll be
wild.
interesting to see the only other one, if it'll be a tall tale sign, is if Tedder shows up without a Monster logo.
That's
That
true
team.
too.
If they show up without one, then that definitely is something.
Then there's
there, 'cause
something really wrong,
They've
'cause
been
they're-
with Monster, like, dude, I remember them at the Amateur Nationals since like 07 with that fucking big rig.
What was the deal with that? Parents?
Just
worked
old
for the
boy,
company, or-
I thought didn't he own part of it?
No, Matt Tedder Senior. So, it wasn't owning, but it was like
Major investor.
yeah,
or something
major investor.
early on.
Major investor.
When it was Hanson Energy.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously, like, I don't know if T Cub's dad still works at Monster, so like I don't know
they
if
were
it's
all
kind of
pretty
trimming
big
the.
hand in it. Yeah,
Not saying
so-
trimming the fat, but like
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting to see for sure.
All right. Anybody see the new 100% goggles? The Jett Lawrence
Yeah,
ones?
how do you
Did
feel
like
about
those?
it?
I didn't understand it at first. Like I
did.
saw them come out.
It
and I
took me a second.
I didn't understand it until somebody explained it on like Pulp or something I was listening to. I'm like, okay, cool. They were, I don't know. It's one of those situations of like stuff's real cool at first, and now there's been so much Jetson merch, so much Jetson goggle line that it's like, whatever. I looked at it, I was like, it's okay.
I think it's cool. I think you need that stuff
Yeah.
for an athlete, and that's another revenue stream for him because there's no way he's not getting some kind of royalty deal on it.
They're expensive.
So I think that stuff. Yeah,
you gotta buy the two
he's
pair.
got to get his piece out.
yeah, because
of
they're
it
two
for
pair
sure.
for what, 180 or something?
So I really like that business model because it's like a FOMO kind of business model. I mean, you see it with like Supreme shirts and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of a similar mentality for him and what his fan base is as well.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of guys, like when I was working at Tucker, we had that 6-pack donut thing that was all.
I know I
Lawrence
didn't
got
get
it.
one of those.
And you never got one.
Yeah, because I went and it was sold out.
You're my perfect example right here. You went to get one because you wanted to put it on the shelf and never wear them because you're a Jett Lawrence fan.
I have pairs of the original ones that I've never worn. They're still in the box upstairs
Exactly. So
because I bought 5 or 6 pairs.
you are the guy. You are the
Well,
guy
okay,
that
but
those
think about
goggles
it.
are made for.
When the
so-
original ones came out, have we ever seen anything like that? Like in a while?
No.
Because I don't know. When you get back into the early 2000s and 90s, I don't know. But for the last 8 years or whatever we've been doing this, we didn't have
I mean, they tried to
custom
Scott
athlete
tried to do it
goggles.
with Reed. Scott and
Okay,
Reed had a
back
goggle.
in the day.
But Oakley has like a Sexton, Roxon goggle.
Yeah,
but they're expensive
always,
as shit.
They're expensive as shit, and it's always just a name and small logo on the back. It's
Yeah.
never like the full thing. Like those 100% goggles came out and they were donuts, which I love donuts and sweets. So I was like, oh, this is fucking perfect for my inner fat kid. And like, boom,
Yeah.
had to have them. And now I'm like, yeah, whatever.
No,
like, I
I'm-
mean, dude, I got there's 2 sets hanging there.
Yeah, no,
that
I'm
I
a,
use.
I'm a fan because I think our sport needs stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'm with it. You know, it creates a
I
separate.
just didn't understand the 8 turned sideways to make the 100.
It kind of looks like an Infinity logo kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I
Yeah,
didn't-
it
I
took
didn't
me a
understand
second
that.
too, and then I was like, "Damn, that's kind of cool." It's his race number with
Yeah.
the font. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of made its own signature font too. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Holster Co. Reload Rant. I got 2. I'll go with my first one.
Oh,
You
boy.
can rant, and then I'll rant my second one, right? So my first one would be, going back to touch on your point here, the Sexton vlogs, right? You've been watching those?
Yeah. I haven't always watched them, but I've started watching them in the last couple months. Yeah.
So I'm
we go.
watching one of them the other day,
Okay.
and I'm watching him It was the boot camp one, and I'm watching him.
The one that him and it was just basically him and Levi.
Yes, doing the workouts, and I'm watching him do these workouts, and I'm watching him eat, and I'm texting Coach Rob going, the math doesn't fucking math on these, right? The motherfucker's doing 3 to 4 hour bike rides, and then they're going into the gym for 2 to 3 hours every single day, or almost every day, right? And I'm like, he's mid-20s, he's doing 6 hours of working out. This dude's burning 5,000 to 6,000 calories. And then I'm watching what he's making to eat. Shake. I don't know everything that's in the shake. You know, you see what he tells you, but they're
36 grams of protein.
Plus also shakes. You're not supposed to drink your fruit.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a shake. He's showing. At one point, he's cooking breakfast, which are 2 eggs and literally 2 slices of bacon. 75, 150... call it 70 on a piece of bacon. So there's another 140. I'm like, this is 290 calories. The math doesn't fucking math. The best thing I saw him eat was at one point he was making 4 burgers. So he probably bought a pound of ground beef. He's eating these burgers with like a salad on top of it, essentially. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
sweet.
So
like
he just ate 10 calories a piece.
So what's he eating for dinner and lunch?
So he's got
that's
6.
what we don't see.
I mean, I literally typed out the math with Coach Rob, and I'm like, dude, even if he's doing 3 shakes at 500 or 600 calories in each one of these shakes, I'm like, if you add in the rest, I'm like, bro, he's doing maybe 3,000 to 4,000 calories. And that's if he's doing all these shakes and stuff. I'm like, this isn't mathing.
Yeah.
And that's on top of what he's eating. He's not eating any sort of shit on top of it, right? Like he's not having ice cream.
No, it's all
he's
clean
not
food.
having
It's not dirty
shitty
bulking.
cheese. I'm like, this isn't mathing. He's not getting enough calories. This isn't a sustainable fucking thing.
Well, then you talk about how like he's like, yeah, because I was watching him and I go, okay, he's not out here, he's not testing, he's going to wait to get back in Florida. This is just like boot camp, getting everything, getting a schedule, and then we're going to tweak it when we get back to when we're doing motos during the week. But it's like, oh, and then he's like, yeah, 6-7 days a week. I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way. There's no way. And then you're like, oh yeah, what are you doing on like your downtime? You're like, oh, I'll play like Fortnite for like a couple hours. I'm like,
I went surfing.
I'm like,
okay, well, there's the burned calories.
I'm like
there
thinking,
for
I'm
sure.
like, dude, I'm like the only time you're not doing anything, and even when you're sitting there, like you're still burning calories because your body needs to survive. Mm-hmm. But it's like, so the only time you're actually not doing anything is when you're sleeping, which once again, you're still burning calories when you sleep.
You burn more calories. You burn twice as many.
Yeah, so however many hours you got to sleep, hopefully it's 8, but not everybody gets 8. And then you're just go though the whole time. I'm like, dude, you're gonna burn out by the time you get to fucking... This is what I'm saying.
This is my rant. It's like these dudes are burning themselves out because he's doing stuff like this. And again,
thanks, Peter Park.
I mean, you know, because you track your calories. I've been tracking mine now for a month and a half or 2 months. In order to eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories when you're not having snacks, we'll call it, that's fucking rough.
Well, and then you look at too, and then and I know we're kind of going way off, but it's within what we're talking about. And then you start thinking, okay, we're doing all this cardio, we're doing legs and all that. Like, dude, the only way you're going to be able to do that much cardiovascular working out every day, you better be fucking having like 10,000 milligrams of sodium and fucking magnesium 100%. And potassium, and then you're burning yourself out.
It's not
There's
sustainable.
No way.
And this is what happens to and like Chase has been around long enough now that he probably has a slightly better handle on it.
Still,
but they're doing this to these kids.
There's no way. Yeah,
so that like come Vialle up, and that's why
you're doing to their longevity.
That's why you see. Well, Vialle probably isn't on this.
No, because he doesn't need to. That's why he didn't do the Baker thing.
But like Kitchen, that's why Kitchen's
like, why so thin,
lean as shit. And it's like, dude, you can't do this and then go 31 rounds. These dudes should be these 450 guys should come in to A1
a little bit on the
185 to 200.
They should come in a little bit heavy. Yeah,
you should be heavy.
That's why everybody comes in with like UFC fighters.
And then be leaning as the season goes on. And then by the time we get to playoffs, then you should be like, oh man, that dude's 165 pounds. Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's why
I think a lot of it too comes to bike setup though. You got to be the same weight for that bike.
That's why MMA guys go to boot camp.
But I'm not saying you're dropping 30 pounds throughout the course of the season. I'm saying 10.
No, I agree, man. I agree with what you're saying.
The thing is, though, is that, like, bro, I can adjust the bike sustainability. I can't adjust a broken leg because I was fucking thin and low on every single fucking thing I
Think
needed.
about, we talk, and Coach talks about this all the time, especially when he's been here. Look at all the star dudes outside of Hayden that get hurt.
Like I said,
They're fragile.
the math doesn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't. Well, we do.
So what did Rob say? I'm curious to hear.
We do know how Chase
He
is
told
probably
me that
getting.
he told me he's like, well, we don't know what's in those shakes. He's like, but you're not wrong.
We do know what Chase is probably doing, though.
He's like, there's zero chance he's getting
Don't talk about my boy.
all
like
the
I like
calories
Chase, bro.
he needs.
I love Kier too, but let's be real. There's only one fucking way you can combat some of that shit, and
Yeah.
everybody's fucking done it. Look,
So-
we've said enough on the show. I'm not going to say it again, but everybody that watches the show and doesn't have their head in the fucking their
So
ass.
that's my first Holster Co. Reload rant. So go ahead. What's your rant?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything I'm ranting about.
Didn't he just say he had something?
Yeah, I thought he did.
Nah, I got like some life stuff that happened to me that I guess I can.
All right, let's fucking hear it.
Oh boy, I'm
the
not even
lottery?
gonna tell you guys because you guys are gonna.
you win the
call me
lottery?
An idiot.
Probably. Go ahead.
Travis always calls you an idiot. You just don't know about it.
It's fine.
The salesman got me, dude.
What do you mean?
I got by a door-to-door salesman.
What the fuck does that mean?
At your house?
Yep.
You
Like,
bought.
so homeboy showed up, knocked on.
Homegirl actually.
Homegirl show. Oh Lord, this is where this went.
I don't-
Did Emily beat the shit out of you with the Bible after this chick sold it to you?
the Bible.
No, Emily was actually on board with purchasing this thing.
Oh, so why don't you just blame her then?
Lesbian.
But it was one of the most bizarre experiences I've ever experienced.
What
I'm gonna
were-
talk about it forever.
What did she show up and sell you?
A vacuum.
You're fucking kidding
Are
me.
you fucking stupid?
Who the fuck goes door to door selling vacuums? What
Was she
kind
a
of
Mormon?
vacuum?
Dude, this thing is the Ferrari of vacuums.
What is it?
It's a Kirby, bro.
You know what people say? You know what kind of people say that? The people that don't know about vacuums.
Look, dude, they did a demonstration.
In your
Dude,
house?
Just, yes, this is where it gets weird. Opens the door, says something to me, dog's barking. I couldn't really hear what she said or whatever. I was like, yeah, sure, I got a couple seconds. Runs to the car, grabs a box, comes in the house, starts unboxing this thing and putting it together.
She an old lady?
No, dude, she's like, I'm in college, I'm trying to win a trip to the Bahamas. You don't have to buy anything, just listen. So then, goes into our living room, fires up this vacuum.
Found the dust ball on the
Dogs
ground.
are fucking freaking out.
Found a dust ball underneath
dog
the couch.
had to go get locked up upstairs. He got locked up. So I guess this isn't really a rant. It's just a story. Anyway, Emily had just vacuumed that morning. We got like a shark or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's out there. Whatever. I was like,
Yep.
Looks pretty clean in here, you know? And then old girl whips this thing out and like shoves a rag in and we looked at the rag. This wasn't no magic trick. She Houdini'd the rag up and was like, hey, nothing here. Shoved it into the port where it sucks the shit into the bag.
Yeah.
Fucking, she was like, you guys vacuum lately? And we were like, yeah, we just did this morning. Brrr, starts running this thing in our living room, pulls the rag out, inch of dust that is sucked out of the carpet. And Emily and I both look at each other like, holy shit.
So how much did said vacuum cost you?
That's where I don't really want to get into it.
Was it $500?
I'm not telling you. Anyway,
Was
So
it north of 200?
you guys aren't even in the ballpark.
Like more?
This thing was a Kirby Platinum Avia.
Are
thing.
you shitting
Because
me, Cole?
it came with the shampooer.
That bitch is gonna blow up. That bitch is gonna blow up on him next week.
This thing is American made. I'm gonna have this vacuum until I'm fucking 80.
Yeah, because we know that.
$2,000?
Holy fuck, Cole!
First off,
Get back,
God
dude.
damn, it's a good thing Kawasaki pays well.
Get
Good
back,
thing
bro.
Kawasaki's not going
Yo,
there.
I'm gonna run that as a write-off somehow.
Dude, I looked at it as I'm not gonna be spending money on Zyrtec every year. The dog's got allergies, so we got to take him to the vet. Like, this is an investment for me, dude.
$2,000. Is it blue?
No, dude, this thing's black and chrome. It's a fucking Ferrari, dude.
Oh, this is the Availer.
Like,
Anybody-
so after she gets done sucking off the floor, she goes.
Why did you say it like that?
You knew he was going to say it like
you-
that. Like,
she
act
went
like you
over
didn't think he was
and
going to say
sucked off
that.
the couch with
She
this
sucked
thing
off the couch?
and just went same deal. Flips it open. Holy shit! Look at all the dirt.
Yo, anybody that watches this video, please comment down in the bottom. I think
If
Cole's a
you've ever
fucking
used
idiot.
a Kirby vacuum, let's hear about it.
Let's hear about it. Maybe they'll sponsor the show.
Bro, I can't
but
believe-
the sales tactic was out of this world. It was so bizarre.
Bro, I can't believe you got conned for a fucking
$2,000
salesperson.
vacuum.
When's the last time other than
I truly believe in this vacuum.
this bitch? He's gonna get like 6 months into next year, and it's gonna be in his closet. He's gonna forget about
Okay,
it.
you want to know the weirdest part about it, right?
That's the weirdest
No, no,
part
no,
is
no,
you
no.
bought
You
from a
live in the middle of
saleswoman.
nowhere. This broad shows up to your house, and you just let her in with a box.
I'm telling you.
There's a lot
Listen,
that's weird
it's a
about
bomb.
this.
Listen, she
in
was
2024.
She was God sent. Hear me out. Hear me out.
She Mormon?
Mercy.
No,
Jesus.
hear me out.
This guy.
We're sitting there, and Emily and I are watching TV, just kind of having a lazy day, and she's like, this thing pops up on Facebook, and it was like a door-to-door light salesman. Where back in the day, somebody would go to the door, open up a suitcase, and sell them lights for their house. You know, like during Christmas time. Yeah. And she's like,
You mean
yeah.
1970?
And she was like, yeah, nobody really goes door to door and sells stuff like this anymore. And I was like, no, back when I was like 6, 7 years old, my mom bought a vacuum and my dad was pissed. It was like a Kirby vacuum or something.
Did you
like
tell your old man?
Kirby vacuum. And Emily's like, no way. And we're just laughing about it. 40 minutes later, the doorbell's ringing.
That's how they know you have
And
your
I
house
go
tapped.
open the door up, and she's in there talking about this thing, and I look at the box. I'm like, holy shit, it's a Kirby vacuum. And she's like, yeah, you guys know anything about Kirby vacuums? I look Emily dead in the eye and said, yeah, my mom got one a few years ago. And that's when it clicked for both of us.
I can't believe in
Long
20
story short, hang on, sorry, I cut you off. Long story short, the vacuum person gets there, showing this thing off, noon. By the time all this deal was all said and done and wrapped up, it was 3:30.
I can't believe in 2024, Cole bought something from a salesperson that went door to door.
At the door.
1, I respected the hustle. 2, the demonstration had
I
me
respect
sold,
the
dude.
hustle too, but I also respect $2,000 a lot more, and I got vacuums. We're
Hey,
fine.
look, dude, they got financing on this shit. And
You financed a fucking vacuum.
Payment on the vacuum.
Yo, like $100 increments.
I can't wait to tell Ashley this fucking story later because she's just gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I'll probably
Cole?"
pay it off early for sure. But and then I hustled him. I did a little negotiating. And I was like, "What's the best you do me with? Cash. If I don't, just straight money in the bank. Dead presidents." They gave me a little extra. Traded in the old one. We got about $600 knocked off. But
This dude just bought a vacuum like he was buying a phone.
look, dude.
Cole, I'm gonna have to tell.
Look up
I
the
gotta
internet.
say, this
I'm
was
gonna
not
call
on my bingo card for
I'm
today
calling.
on the
I'm
show.
calling Wyman later and be like, "Yo, you will never guess what fucking Cole
man.
did. This motherfucker bought
Wow.
a vacuum from a sales girl.
I cannot believe. I thought you were really going to tell me that she was selling Bibles and you bought
I
some.
thought she was like Mormon or something.
Yeah, and then I thought you were going to tell me that
You're in a cult
Emily
now.
beat
and you
the
just-
shit out of you with a
you're-
Bible.
You're in a cult now, and you just don't know it.
Yeah.
Look, dude, you guys
Yeah,
can
the
call
Kirby
me
vacuum
fucking,
Cole.
you
The Kirby
can call
vacuum
me fucking
fucking Cole.
crazy. You can call it justifying my
You're
purchase.
crazy.
But one day of vacuuming with this motherfucker, I woke up this morning, I could breathe out of my nose for the first time in months.
Look at this
I want
guy.
you for the A1 show. I want you to bring that vacuum here.
Yeah, can you
I'll
bring the
it here,
vacuum
I'll
here?
suck off your whole shop.
Stop saying
Thank
suck
you,
off.
thank you. Actually, I'm
Dude,
gonna take it to my
okay.
house and use it.
Look,
Maybe I'll
and
need
the
it.
other weird
You're
part,
gonna break it.
the other weird part, she's like, you ever had your bed sucked off? And I was like, no, I've been
Did
sucked
she
off in
actually
my
say
bed.
sucked
Jesus
off?
Christ. No way.
No. So takes this thing, because it's got the nozzle on
You
it.
ever had
that
your
Yeah.
bed
sucks
sucked
it,
off?
And it's got a shampooer. It's fucking everything all in one, dude. This thing's a Ferrari. I'm telling
Apparently,
you.
it's fucking everything all in one.
Dude, it does. It gets it moist and then sucks that up.
Stop saying
But-
sucked off and moist.
Anyway, we go up to the bedroom and she starts fucking.
Jesus. Is Emily there when you two go up to the bedroom? or
Emily
what?
and I go up to the bedroom. and she's
shit.
got the vacuum, comes up.
Holy
it comes up.
fucking shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was a whole experience. That's why I'm sharing this.
Was it an
dude.
experience?
I'm never going to forget about this experience the rest of
Yeah, I
my
bet
life.
not.
Swear
I
to
bet
God.
not. I bet not.
See, I'm safe.
And you want to know what
I
else?
don't give Ashley this kind of
Oh my God.
money to be able to buy a
Dude,
$2,000
I
vacuum.
can't tell you guys enough
No,
about
it wasn't
this.
even Emily. It was him.
So secondly,
No, I don't give Ashley that kind of money. So even if this person shows up
So,
at my door, we're not
secondly-
getting one.
so go up to whatever, and she starts on the bed, and then on the sheets, and then the mattress pad, all this shit. Pulls that little thing out, lays it open, and it's not dirt, and it's all just like kind of white, weird looking shit. And
I wonder
she's
why.
like, "Shut up." She's like, "You know what this is?"
He's
And
like,
we were
yeah, I
like,
know what that
Yeah, I know what that is.
No.
Dried
And she's
sea.
like, these are dead skin cells.
Ew.
Yeah, and it was eye opening. Another part where I was like, damn, this
What
is-
happened when
it's
the
kinda
suction
sick.
power slows down?
You can
'Cause
have
that's
them-
what happens when you
they're
get
American
married.
made. You can have them rebuilt.
That's what happens when you get married.
The suction power shows
slows
up.
down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the suction
You're talking
power
about
definitely
vacuum.
slows down when you get.
Yeah.
Well, I'm never gonna marry this vacuum, so this
You
thing's
sure?
gonna be
You're
good.
married to it. You bought it.
You bought it.
I mean, just
You're
because
married.
You better get divorced by it.
According to the government right now, you have a loan out on this vacuum. You're married to it.
I preened up on this thing, dude.
Oh, you put a prenup
and
on the
And I'm
vacuum.
gonna pay it off like next week. So anyway,
So now when it divorces him, he gets all the money because it's already
A1
paid
show,
for.
you're
No.
bring that vacuum.
I'll
the
bring the
vacuum.
fucking vacuum.
Bring that
I'll
vacuum.
bring it Saturday during qualifying. I'll bring it during the live stream.
Oh, we're doing a live stream
I'd
together.
like to, maybe.
All
I don't
right.
know.
I mean, I hit up Wyman said he wanted to do a live stream.
All right, perfect.
during
I'll
a
bring the
race at some
vacuum, dude.
point,
I'll let
so-
this thing
Let
suck
it do
everything
you.
off.
Stop.
So the last thing that was fucking bizarre, dude. She's sitting there,
The last thing.
The last
As
thing.
if this whole thing hasn't
took
been
some
fucking
baking
Very
bizarre.
soda,
bizarre.
took some baking soda, put it in the carpet.
Yep.
Fucking rubbed it all in there. The baking soda disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Sounds like a magic trick.
she's like, something. Pick a number between 50 and 100, and I'm like, I don't know, 72. So she fucking fires up the vacuum, starts running it back and forth. 52, 53, counts to 72, screaming it. 1, 2, all the way to 72 in our living room. Fucking bizarre, just screaming at the top of her lungs. But then takes the little rag out, pours that bitch over, half a kilo of coke on this thing. From getting pulled. Dude, I'm serious. It literally pulled it out of the rag, and it was like sitting like this, where it pulled it all out of the carpet. And then she took the other half with our old vacuum. Again, 1, 2, fucking counted it up, and it didn't pull shit out of there. And then took the new vacuum, my new Ferrari, went over where the shark was, and pulled up another fucking kilo.
I'll be honest, I cannot wait to tell Ashley this story.
I'm gonna
She
tell
it's
everyone
gonna
I know
blow
this
her
story.
fucking mind.
Dude, Kirby
Bought a
vacuums.
2000
I'm calling Wyman later. Be like, yo, you'll never guess what Cole did.
I know. I'll put us in a group chat after this.
Jesus.
You, me, and Wyman, and we're
God.
gonna
Dude, look, Kirby
just shit
Kirby
on
vacuums,
Cole.
dude. I don't get suckered in. I work in sales, bro.
You got sucked in on this one hard.
literally
You should definitely make a shirt that says "sucked in" and just have a picture of Cole's face.
in my vacuum.
I
dude.
got sucked in hard. Yep.
Hang on, I might even have a picture of this bitch for you guys.
Oh my god. Okay, let's get back
So
to
anyway,
motocross.
I guess that's not really my rant, but
It's gonna be my rant one day.
whew, you guys have no idea. You got to experience one of these things. I
2000.
FaceTimed my mom. I was like, "Hey, mom, I didn't fall too far from the tree. Guess what I did?"
How's your dad feel about it?
She was like, "I
And
fucking
my
raised
dad
an
just
idiot."
was kind of like, "Whatever. I'm about to take your moms to the Goodwill," and I said, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
Jesus. All right,
So-
let's get back to the motocross stuff here. Okay,
Kirby
so
vacuums, baby.
Holster Co. Reload Rant there, I guess.
Better invest in
Holster
some stock or some
TLR
shit.
tinfoil hat story of a random woman showing up at your door to sell you a fucking vacuum cleaner.
Nah, she was college.
I don't know, dude. It
Sucking
gets
your bed off.
Oh
Sucking
my God,
your-
it gets so much. There's so much to unpack because the minivan drops her off, right? And she's like in the house doing her deal, and I kind of look over my shoulder. Fucking minivan's backing out the driveway, and I'm like, "What?" Is she
Bitch is walking the
Am I-
neighborhood.
like,
with
am I
a,
go-
with a vacuum.
With a
no,
vacuum.
and I'm like, am I gonna have to download fucking Uber? Like, what am I gonna do
They
here?
didn't give her a phone.
Oh my God, it was.
Did the minivan come back and get her?
Yeah, and then I was like, after I saw everything, and I was like, I was a believer. I
Was it a
believed
big
in
white
this.
Russian guy?
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do this deal.
Hey,
Old boy comes back with the minivan. He comes in. He's got a gold chain on or a bracelet and all this
fucking
shit.
pimp jumps out of the
Pimp
minivan.
boy jumped out of the minivan and was like, so, before we do this, you got good credit? And I was like, yeah, man. I'm like, I should be good. And then start filling out the shit and...
There is so much of this that's just
Cole, you need to go to therapy.
weird.
Dude.
Hey, but
I-
on the up hand, we now know how to make money. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go buy random expensive shit.
We should.
upcharge it,
Repackage it,
and,
Cole good.
go to Cole's house and sell it to him door to door.
And just actually, but like, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna give it to some random college girl that like gives him some
Yeah.
sob story and be like, "Yo, you should buy this."
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know, man. I would...
Want my old road bike?
Look, I usually don't cave, because I work in sales.
I can tell.
get
I
it.
can tell by how you didn't cave on this $2,000 fucking vacuum.
Like when you would have said like 400, I'd be like, okay, but
You want me to go through my justification process?
No, because the first justification that you got past that just blows my mind is that in 2024 you just let a random stranger come into your house.
No, kind of budged in. That was what was
That's
weird.
what I'm saying. You just let a random stranger come into your house because I would have turned around with a gun when she
Like,
came in there the first time and
for
been like, "Yo,
example,
bitch, get out."
dude. We were having our team party at Jack's on Friday night, and they still
Yeah.
have like the machines where you get like the rubber.
Get hammered.
No, I don't drink anymore. Remember?
That's boring.
But there was these people that kept buying kept doing the game with like the claw hook.
Do some cocaine.
No, and they couldn't get anything. And I just looked at the person. I go, you could get on Amazon and probably buy like 40 of those for $5
Oh, yeah,
instead of wasting
100%.
like $2 on that.
It's a 10 or 20x return on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Cole over here could have probably got a vacuum on Amazon for
Do
like
some Xannies.
Look, man, I justified the purchase. I was like, I'm saving money. I ain't gonna be buying Zyrtec no more. Right? My dog's gonna be good on the allergy department. I'm gonna have this thing for fucking ever. I can shampoo the carpet in my car now. I can fully detail that motherfucker.
What Cole doesn't know is
I
there's
don't
actually a
have a
Chinese
car
bug in
payment.
that thing, and now his house is bugged.
Look, I don't have a car payment. I don't pay for my gas. I don't pay for my insurance. Like, we're good.
All right. Anyway, back to the.
I don't have anything to say after that.
Yeah, there's.
I got nothing.
I got to think about that. The text messages are going to ensue here.
Oh, they are. We should put everybody on there. We should put Tommy D on there. We should get Brule on there. We should get just everybody.
Holy shit! All right.
Okay, get their old ladies on there too then, because the old lady's gonna back me up.
Oh, I'm gonna tell her about this later.
I don't know, man.
We'll see what she says. I'll let
Do
you know.
some research on this vacuum first before you give me shit. Everybody's gonna be like, "What a bizarre, crazy fucking sales experience," but then they're gonna back it up with, "It's the fucking Ferrari of vacuums. It's the best thing you'll ever have, and you'll have it for the rest of your life."
It's going on every group chat. Fucking every group chat.
All right. Moving on
guess
here.
what-
Guess what Cole did?
One last
Cole
thing.
is so
Oh,
trying
boy.
to justify
We're
this dude.
still
He
gonna
is
continue.
like
He's
he is
trying.
hell
Look
fucking.
at all the shit it sucked out of my carpet.
Jesus, bro,
Multiple
fucking
times.
cocaine.
at
God,
that.
dude, you got to stop being Pablo Escobar for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to see the kilos?
Sounds like a lot of jizz.
Look at the kilo it sucked out of there.
Okay.
Stop saying sucked.
Sure.
I think you planted that. That's all
I don't know
coke.
if that kilo
So
is.
see that one right there? That's the chair I was sitting in. She was like, "Get up out of the chair. Let me suck that thing down real quick." That was everything that came out
He
of my
keeps
chair.
fucking
dude.
saying sucked. God,
That's
bless
what-
it.
Come on now. You
So
see
that's
do you see the results?
that's shit particles out of your ass.
That is out of my carpet.
Do you
That's
like sit on your carpet naked or something?
multiple places of carpet? Come on.
Only last
That's
night.
a lot of shit that came out of there. Come on now.
He literally had that vacuumed up. He got butt ass naked. Put his ass on it.
That's a,
Clean now.
That's
Clean now, yo.
that's a
Butthole
lot
safe.
of that's a lot of allergens right there.
Butthole.
Look at
safe.
that. Look at that. That is a fucking kilo that came out of there.
Yo, can we get back to the dirt bikes?
Yeah, we can. All right. So
I'm so uncomfortable with this conversation.
let me get on to my second Holster Co. Reload rant here. Lewis Phillips.
You don't like Lewis anymore?
Uh-oh.
People don't like his voice.
No, that's not what. So, I don't mind Lewis. I enjoy his commentary. I think
You really want to blow him out like
I
this?
think his takes are good.
You know where he's going with this?
He has.
Nope. Here we go.
It's a reload rant. Obviously, he's going to shit on the guy.
He has a bit of a disdain towards new age, call it media people, such
Okay.
as ourselves.
Okay.
And he is very good at, he'll fire off at the mouth about things because he thinks it, which again, it's a little bit blunt, but it's his opinion, so he's entitled to it. Mm-hmm. But there are some things he says sometimes, and he's done this a couple times now, towards, we'll say guys like us or whatever, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to the LVK show that they do, him and Kellen the other day, right? It's off season, so there's not as much shit to listen to during the week. So, okay, cool, that comes up, I listen to it. And he was talking about YouTube people and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, bro.
And that's how Kellen got started, so he better watch his ass.
And my thing is like, I understand that there is a need for, we'll call it, truly media-based people, for example, like himself, who is going to take an interview they did with, and I'll just give the example because he was talking about it in the show the other day, take the interview he did with Jason Anderson, take a 1-minute segment of that, and break that down into an article, right? Mm-hmm. okay, great. We need people like that. We need people like Steve and all these other guys that actually write and do true, we'll call it journalism, media, whatever. Now, with that being said, the landscape has changed tremendously since you guys have gotten started with that. It's changed tremendously since we've gotten started.
No, yeah.
We were one of the originators of doing
We were.
this YouTube shit
Whether
with
people
the
want to
fucking
admit it or not.
motocross.
Whether people
they
want to
can
admit it
all
or
say
not.
whatever. You go back to 2017
There
when
was
we started
nobody.
this was not a regular thing.
No.
So my thing is like, bro, just like, there's no need to shit on everybody else for you to do your thing. There's room for all of us here, okay? And again, I like your commentary and stuff, but you're only going to make so many of these comments before you're really going to get my crosshairs. I'm going to be like, fuck this guy, right? Like, again, right now, I don't have a problem with him, really. There's some of these comments he says that I'm just like, let's just have a conversation. Like, bro, I understand you're a full-blown media guy. You get paid to literally fucking do this.
Yeah.
I don't really get paid to do this. I get enough money to travel to a couple races, to watch a couple things, to whatever,
And talk shit about
and talk
with my
shit
buddies.
about people.
And talk shit with
I'm
people.
not here to be a fucking media company and write fucking articles and everything else in between. I'm here to fucking literally jump on these microphones and talk to you guys about this shit the same way I would if
With
we
my
were
homies.
if we were sitting at the fucking races, if we were sitting on my fucking tailgate at the track, whatever. That's what I'm fucking here to do. I'm not here to in-depth write a fucking article or whatever. Because one of the things he was harping on were the people that would like record the interviews there at the media day and then just upload those. And it's like, okay, sweet. That is also media.
Yeah.
Like, sorry we didn't cut it down and chop it up and make it look whatever. Yeah. But that's also media. So like whatever.
It's
Again,
almost
the
like
landscape's changing, bro. Like you're thinking he's old school CNN, NBC, ABC news, and it's like, no, that's not what people want
That
anymore.
doesn't make sense to me though, because he's kind of a younger guy.
He is a younger guy, but
He's not
got
that
like
much.
this
Dude,
old soul.
he's like a year older than you are.
Yeah, he's got like this
that's what I mean.
old soul though, and like I said, he's very into.
I think it comes because
he wants to be a legitimate media person, which he is, and that again, that's fine. But there's room for all of us, and there's no need to fucking talk shit. Now I understand that there is certain people in this space that everybody knows who I'm talking
Yeah.
about that
He may
people
go,
don't like.
but I don't want to sound like I'm a glazer, but a lot of his stuff has truth to it, and we need somebody to play that role. Mm-hmm. And he took that role.
He took that role on, and he's doing it.
I think honestly
great.
though, part of it
So
too.
again, a place for everyone.
He
for
comes
everyone,
from the GPs where the stuff I'm saying why I think he is the way he is. I think it's because he comes from the GPs where over in the Europe scene, there's not as many dudes doing podcasts about moto stuff, and it is more old school journalism.
Yeah.
But I find it funny that he's harping on these people because, dude, he's done he was doing his GP show for Vital with Adam Wheeler years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's like, dude, you were doing a podcast where there was the same fucking shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like,
It's where you came from.
I like Lewis, but there's I
like him too.
There's a lot of people though, kind of like you, that don't really like. I'm not saying you don't like him, but there's a lot of people that just don't like him because
I've heard some rumblings of people that don't like him because they feel he's standoffish and
he kind of like, oh man, like all I do is eat, sleep, and breathe moto, and I don't care anything about anybody else. And I think that's the one thing that I don't like about Lewis because I think he puts off this vibe that it's like, well,
it's not a vibe. He legitimately like doesn't really do shit other than moto. Like I saw a post where he went to Disney World with Max and his family, and I really wanted to post some comments and be like, does Lewis know where he's at or what the fuck he's doing? Like, because this is not
he eat, breathes, lives moto.
I think that's what bothers me the most because I think he pees this feeling that it's like, oh yeah, like if you don't eat, like you don't love. I'm like, dude, I've been around this shit for 33 fucking years, my entire life. Like, it's all I've ever done. I obviously have other interests, but like, don't sit here and tell me just because you have the ability to go to all the races, and I used to do that, haven't been able to do it in a long time, that like you care about the sport more than I do, or anybody else for that fact. Like, it's not a fair thing. And there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of people that he's just rubbed the wrong way. There was a situation back in the day with like a Honda, like because he used to do the stuff for Honda or whatever, and then just
like
biased journalism. And don't get me started on like how people feel about him the way he is with Hurlings. Like people are like, oh, he's a Hurlings dick rider and all this kind of shit.
Like I said, I don't have a full blown problem with him yet, but this is the second comment I've heard him make in public form about other people who essentially aren't Racer X, Vital, Swap, that kind of stuff.
Because he's in that world now.
That it's like, bro, just like tone it back, brother. Like, don't be a
Don't be
fucking
that guy.
Don't be that guy. Steve is that guy, and Steve is disliked by a lot of people who are in our realm. Now, again, I listen to a bunch of Steve's stuff because he has fucking info, and I don't have as much of a problem as other people. But again, I understand, like, I'm respectful of these guys are media people, and like, okay, cool, whatever. But there's room for all of us. So,
yeah, look, like, here's the purpose of our show, and that's what I've mentioned it before, and what I tell people as well. Like, we're not here to break news. If we get a scoop, we'll break it, whatever. Yeah. Sometimes we've gotten some random ones, so we'll drop them.
We do every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
So,
Clock strikes 12 2 times a day.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people out there that can relate to us because they sit down every Saturday night with their buddies and they watch the show.
Yep.
And you know what everybody else does just like us? They drive to work and they listen to Pulp, or when they're driving home from work, they listen to Gypsy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's what we do. And we can take some of that information that we hear, because maybe they aren't going to be able to listen to all the podcasts like we do, and we can kind of put it all together. It's just homies sitting at the table talking about the sport they like. Like, you know, it's just...
It's like the description says.
I don't know how you can hate on that.
It's like the description says. We are for fans, by fans. We are fans.
And we got a real problem, and it's been this way, and it's not the only thing that we have a problem with in this sport. The way everybody likes to condescend everybody, like, oh, this and that, or it's the same thing. Like, somebody made a comment. This is really has nothing. It's a small thing, but like, I don't know if you guys saw the picture of Lando Norris when he showed up to one of the Formula One rounds, and he's sponsored by Alpinestars, obviously, an Alpinestars jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael Lindsay, of all people, goes, man, that's a cool look, like the way he was doing with whatever heroes else we were. And he's like, I really wish in Moto, like, this wasn't so looked down as we were a bunch of squids that we wear jerseys and we're like, man, you're a goon. I personally wouldn't do that, but
don't even talk about that, because remember what I did in St. Louis and you guys told me I was a goon?
You were in a Martin Davalos.
Tell everybody what was going on in St. Louis.
Whatever, dude, whatever.
What did I wear in St. Louis?
You were in a Martin Davalos jersey.
Send nude.
Party Marty. Oh my God! But
because somebody in that stadium, they're fans like us, they're gonna see me walking through there. Oh, look at that Marty Davalos jersey. That's the guy that had the scandal for sending nudes to some other chick or something.
Oh God, we're so far removed from that. It's crazy how long ago. But yeah,
but some guy's gonna remember that and be like, "Hey, that's a sick jersey."
Yep.
I think another thing too, though, is and I don't know how, unless you're never have watched our show before, which obviously we've been getting a lot of new fans. Don't know this about us, but I think a lot of the things that, like, when we get hate about this kind of shit that watch our show, is that there's people still out there that believe that, like, oh, this is like, that's these guys' full-time job. How the fuck do they get all this shit?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, dude, how do you got, like, this is not our source of income. And I think that's where I think some of the, like, people get irritated with just us.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, how do they get paid for this? And
it's pretty simple. I'm too fucking stupid to miss a show or a race, so there's to the detriment of relationships, family things that I shouldn't be, but
should just do a transparent show on what kind of money comes from each month.
We make...
Oh, you're just going to let it rip right now?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So from YouTube, we'll make anywhere from $150 to $500 a month, depending. So like right now with the A1 show and all the videos we're going to cut from that, we'll probably get closer to like $500, right? For most of the rest of 2024 here, we were making a couple $100 on that. From sponsorships between everybody, we'll make maybe another like 400 a month ish, 400 or 500 maybe. I don't know, because a couple of them pay in lump sums, so I'm trying to break it down by 12 months. Maybe 400 or 500 a month on that. Members, we've got a few members, so that is whatever it is. Let's say they're all paying $5 a month. That's $15-20 a month, and then YouTube takes their cut out of it, right? But that's not counting. And this is something I was explaining to the guy that, and I can't think of his name right now, and I apologize, who was hitting me up yesterday about not posting the podcast itself. Okay, so I'm paying every month for a podcasting service, because basically the way podcasts work, for anybody who doesn't know, is that you will drop the actual podcast raw file onto a server thing. It's called a host site, and then that dispenses it to Spotify and Apple and all those places like that, right? Then like we pay for YouTube Premium so that we can watch all the stuff commercial free through or listen to stuff, whatever, because that's part of my daily thing for the week. Obviously, I got to pay for Peacock every month. That's a whole nother thing because that keeps going up. There's editing software. There's the SoundCloud music software for any sounds, audio, whatever we might need. There's a couple of different softwares for actually editing the podcast, like editing the clips, editing a multicam, whatever. If we do that I pay every month. There is a monthly payment I make for the computer for the thing. So like by the time you add this all up, and then that's not counting
Pretty much breaking even. Then you go to the race.
Then you go to the race, and when you go to the race, you're spending $1,500 to go for 2 days to a race.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, literally, I was looking for hotels in Detroit last night.
Well, it's fucked because it's Valentine's Day weekend.
$1,000 is what I'm going to pay for a hotel in Detroit
I might just drive there and
for
back.
for the 2 nights. $1,000.
Yeah, it was like $400 a night at the Renaissance
Yeah,
Center.
which means by the time I pay that $1,000 for the hotel, and then I pay because we just buy tickets, we buy tickets no matter what. So then you pay, we'll call it $60 a piece for tickets. So now we're at $1,100. Now you're going to eat both days. You're going to pay gas to drive there. I mean, again, I'm going to be $1,500 to go to Detroit for the race that night.
Yeah, normal fan shit.
Yeah, normal fan shit. So it's like, yeah, you bring it, it sounds great when it's like, oh, well, you bring in like, we'll call it $600 to $800 a month off the podcast. Yeah, but by the time you start taking this shit away, what are we doing here? And then, like I said, if you go to a race, that's 2 months worth of income essentially at that rate before for me to go to that race. So yeah, I mean, that's why Steve does a great job because he can afford to go to all these races and everything. Yeah. Again, that's why he's the GOAT of the podcast side of these things or whatever. You look at Swap Moto and stuff, and we're trying to do a little bit of different stuff than they are because like I look at all the stuff that all those guys do and they do everything's kind of the same, and none of them have dove into certain aspects. There's certain things like Gypsy is doing things a little bit differently, but even he isn't as hard, and he has a crew. That's what cracks me up is like all these guys have crews, and it's like, man, we don't have a crew. You want to know who the crew is? You're looking at him right here. Editing, I mean, literally, I spent hours yesterday scheduling all the reels that I've uploaded on YouTube.
Oh, here's my reload rant while you're saying that.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Okay.
So did you see me change some captions?
Yeah, I did. So
did you like them?
Some of them you changed, and I think it helped, and there were some you did, and I was like, that was not a good one.
Okay, well, that's what you got to play with, but
I understand.
But you can't have a caption.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm gonna school Travis on captions a little bit, and I want your opinion here.
Oh boy, here we go.
In the caption, he puts "Show 287, the Moto Aftermath Show." To me, I don't feel that. And you can tell me why.
What are you talking? Are you talking about on Instagram or YouTube? Okay, on YouTube.
So when people are looking for us, they know they're going to type in the Moto Aftermath Show. That's who we are. I feel like you don't.
Are
need
you
that
talking
in the
on the short side of things?
All of them. Yeah. Well, yeah, on the short side of things.
Okay, so here's the thought process on the shorts.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about.
Do you watch shorts on YouTube?
Or no, not shorts. I'm talking like the short clip.
Oh, you're talking the segments.
The segments.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me, because it said Show 287, the Moto Aftermath Show, that took up all these characters to where I couldn't even put. How is Austin Fortner going to do in 2025? So you couldn't have a caption that long. And
yes,
then
you are correct.
So
how is Austin Fortner going to do in 2025 though? I don't feel was a great one.
Okay, so let's switch it up. How will Austin Fortner do in 2025 with a child on the way?
That's too long.
Okay.
So, you gotta shorten it. So it's got to be you're going down the right process here.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, the second one that can be eliminated real quick is we don't need 3 exclamation points followed by 3 question marks.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't need that much enthusiasm.
Yep, dude. We're all about enthusiasm here.
Right.
Yo, you want to know what's wild about this? Is somebody on Vital put up a thread about podcasts.
Yeah.
And our name popped up in one of them.
Yes!
Our name popped up in one of them.
Well, because it was me. It was my burner.
Was it your burner?
Yeah.
Oh, you fucker. That makes total sense.
I know exactly where you're going with
talking about captions and talking about they're just ass.
It was my burner.
You fucker.
One other person mentioned us in that thread, though.
Yeah. And then
What'd
somebody
they say? Were they talking shit?
No,
I've never
I think
got
it was
Vital.
cars. I think.
Somebody also made a comment though in one of our videos that they were sent here from a Racer X survey though.
Oh.
And I'm like, why the
Interesting.
fuck did we end up on Racer X?
Survey?
Yeah, like
Let's
a
find
survey.
that survey. I want to take it.
So
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So
Talk about that after the show too.
Anyway, we're gonna make some progress.
make some
with
notes here.
captions
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I definitely, even though that's not something that like I pay attention to so much because I don't really watch shorts, but like I definitely know what you're talking about, and I agree with that just in the sense that we all know that people nowadays their attention spans are too short.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna want to look for it right fucking now.
Yeah. And then like for new people, I think you got to put the full name. Like, what is Sexton gonna do? Everybody else knows who Sexton is, but a new person that's maybe starting to watch the sport or whatever, what is Chase Sexton? They're gonna search Chase Sexton.
We need to have a deeper conversation on titles and things.
No, we definitely do because I want to elevate and I want to be better at that this year.
Yeah.
And
we could grow your channel a lot with some better titles.
Me?
You're working on it. You're getting there.
I'll be monetized tomorrow.
You're working
Finally.
on it. We'll get there,
Yeah.
but we could grow a lot with.
Well, did you see
You're
my,
Martin.
did
You're
you see
Martin.
my
How
clickbait one?
You're Martin. You're
I did a clickbait one at Libretto's. It's got 30,000 on it.
There was a couple that you did that were okay. That I thought the titles were
I
okay. on.
just started putting some effort.
Did you get
into it
more
over
on
the
You're,
last-
that
you're
one?
coming back. You're coming around.
I'm on the
Let's put it
comeback.
this
Did you
way.
get more on that one than the helmet cam from Martin? Where it's just you
Why not?
getting fucking loose through a set of ruts?
Dude, that one got a lot of views too.
But no, I'm asking. Did that get more than the one you just said, the 30,000? Because last time I looked,
Yeah.
you had. Yeah, I was about to say you had a lot, and
the
that was
last
like
2-3 videos have done really well.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Let's keep moving here because we're getting long
I know
in the
we're going
tooth
down,
here.
but I like halftime better. Let's
Yeah.
just shoot the shit.
Okay. So sports betting's coming to SMX. This has been announced. This has been something.
This could be dangerous and fun.
I mean, I
gonna
think
be
it's,
dangerous
I
for
think
some
it's great
people.
that I think it's great that it's coming to the sport. And it's been a long time coming. Here's my question. And I just had this. Let's go
format,
TLR tinfoil hat here. Is this the because of the way Steve's tied into the sport? Does this open up Pulp MX Fantasy back to all 50 states again?
Yeah, I think he's got his hands in this somehow.
I have a, and again, I don't have any information. I haven't heard a fucking thing other than betting's coming, but I would be highly surprised if
It depends on what the format is.
Is it going to be coming from Vegas? Is that going to be the hub?
It's
Yeah,
DraftKings.
it's
from what I
DraftKings.
know.
All right. So here's the only thing I'm going to say that's not going to work for our
DraftKings or
sport.
somebody else.
I think DraftKings.
Here's the only thing that I'm going to say is not going to work for our side of sports betting as opposed to other sports or just even stick and ball sports.
Yeah.
We all know that sports, like everybody likes to talk about how people in Vegas, like especially, and I get this a lot because I'm a big MMA guy, they're like, oh man, they really know what they're talking about because sports betting comes off analytics and we know analytics don't work with dirt bikes. So I don't know if necessarily if you're new and you see like a line,
Yeah, I mean, if you're deep into the sport, you might see something that's like a fucking bargain.
but then you're going to look at
Yeah.
other things if you're new and you're going to go, oh yeah, that's really great. And then somebody who actually like knows the sport's going to go,
Well,
that makes no fucking
it's like
sense.
last year. What was it?
Like
Dan
Jett
Trub-
was like plus 150 or something.
Yeah, like Dan Trubin got in on one. I think it was Deegan winning something last year because when the odds first came out for that race, it was like gigantic odds against him, and he was like, yeah, and like won a bunch of money doing that. But then it's gonna be interesting too of who's allowed to be involved, who's not. Like, are we not gonna be allowed to be
Have an
involved?
Injury report.
I think it's great
The
though.
injury
bec-
report and stuff is gonna be a thing.
I think it's great
for
though
sure.
because it's one of the last few things that we need to continue to grow our sport.
I think it's gonna.
But I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work the way it does in other stuff. And I
Yeah,
think
I
people are gonna
wanna-
figure that out quickly.
I mean, it'll be
I
a
guess-
little different, but
to do some research, we'd have to look and see how it works for NASCAR because I know NASCAR's
Yeah.
in DraftKings, but I'm really curious of what the format's going to be.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like, hey, odds for this guy to get top 5, odds for this guy to get top 10,
Yeah.
whole shot odds, or if you
Which is
really want to
funny.
know if Steve or whatever is attached to it,
you'll know because
you
we'll
will
be able
know
to
because
play
the
fantasy.
format will be that format.
Yeah.
Maybe DraftKings just bought his format.
Yeah,
Which
we'll
is
see.
funny. You'll look at something and be like, oh yeah, what's the odds of somebody getting a start? And you're just gonna go, yeah, you can throw that shit out the window because fucking Joe Blow on a privateer bike just has good reaction time and he's gonna get the start. But it's got, like I said, it's great. I think it's awesome because even though I don't bet,
Yeah.
it's great because of the fact it's one of the last things that we have or didn't have that need to legitimize us in the eyes of the rest of the world
Yeah,
as
it'll-
a sport. Because let's be real, the fact that this didn't start years ago is kind of ridiculous.
It'll elevate things in the sport here.
Oh yeah, because you go to
it-
Vegas and
yeah.
you see like, oh, I can bet on a dirt bike race.
Well,
that's
a
interesting.
big thing that's been brought up recently that I've heard with it is like, okay, cool. Like, Volan last year gets hurt. We get zero information from Kawasaki, right?
Now you're gonna have to
Now you're gonna have to
because it's gonna come from Vegas.
Prado crashes, and we'll get to him in a second, and doesn't make
That
media
whole
day.
conspiracy thing.
And then
They had
Kawasaki
to.
doesn't say a fucking thing.
It forced their hand. They had to say something.
Because
They
you're gonna,
didn't, no. So, but the
Mathis-
guys
Mathis.
there were like, they didn't say shit to us. Like Sean Brennan came in at one point and was like, "Yeah, Prado's not here. He crashed," and that was it. Kawasaki never said a fucking thing to start with.
Yeah, and I think they probably tried to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
But you can't keep it a secret
Not
when
when you don't
all
show
that
up.
media going on.
well,
No.
you're going to have to though, because that's going to start coming from Vegas. Because they're going
Yeah.
to just go, you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
continue to do this? Like you
Yeah.
have no choice because they have to
it'll
know.
it'll have to.
Like,
which again, like I said, I
it's
think it'll
gonna
change
make
the sport in a good way.
It's going to make the hierarchy change and not realize they have as much control as they think
Yeah.
they do, because it goes, hey man, you want to keep this money train rolling? We need to fucking know
Yeah,
what's
and
going
that's
on,
what it
because
is a
Vegas will be
fucking
like,
money
we don't
train.
fuck around. We're not going to do that.
It's a money train. So
And I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Even like I said, I don't bet. I think it's great because it's one of the few things that we
Oh.
didn't have.
Ferrandis lost his monster deal.
That was
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great though. It's going to be
I'm
very
watching.
it's going to be very interesting though. It's going to be
Yeah.
very interesting because
Yeah.
it's going to change everything, and maybe it gets people that don't know anything about dirt bikes, get them into it, be like,
Into
hey,
it, yeah.
this is interesting.
I mean, I bet
Yep.
on football, and I don't give two shits about it.
Yeah. I think
it's
I don't
awesome.
bet very often, though. Maybe just the Super Bowl. But
all right, I got to go take a Wiz Khalifa, but you,
Hey.
I believe you put greatest day one moments on here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need you here for that.
Go. Well, you guys go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go take a Wiz.
Justin's probably going to agree with me, though. So it
Okay,
doesn't
go ahead.
even-
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. he
Maybe I
says.
will. Maybe I won't.
All right. Greatest A1 moment for you, or most memorable A1?
No, you go ahead. I want to hear your first
Okay.
because I didn't know this, so I have to think for a second.
So for me, it's 09.
Oh, with JG and Stu and,
Yep,
and the
so-
craziness of that.
So there was so much with that main. You've got Reed running the number one. Stewart's on a new team. Both guys on a new team, actually, coming into the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because JG just moved to the 450 full time.
Josh Grant.
Yep.
Stewart.
Stu was on Sam Manuel coming off Cowie.
Was it? Okay.
Sam Manuel.
No. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
First year for him.
Yep, because that was the last year of the old bike.
Yep. New bike for Reed.
Yep.
And they come out and they're going at it, and Reed is giving him everything he can handle.
Stu hits false neutral.
Stu hits false neutral, and they both crash literally the exact same way.
Yep.
Both of them. Like you couldn't have planned it much better. They choreographed it perfect. Reed gets up, Stewart gets up, pushes the bike. Wyndham smokes him, goes down. Both of them go down, and then Stewart can't fire up the bike. Reed gets going. Blah blah blah. First half of that race, barn burner. Two of the greatest to ever do it, going at it. And then you got Stewart walking off. Can't get the bike started. He's walking back to the truck. Aaron Bates, hey Stu, what can you tell us about what happened out there?
Dude.
And he goes, I crashed. And then she goes, well, you know, how are you feeling? Are you going to be okay for the next round? Blah, blah, blah. I crashed. Slams his helmet down, whatever, keeps walking off the track. Josh Grant is out front.
Banner in the fucking wheel.
Dude, JGR, first race ever for JGR. Josh Grant, everybody says he was a rookie, but he rode a 450 race the year before, so I don't
Yep.
want to hear all the Jett comparison bullshit.
Yeah.
Josh Grant, out front, about to win his first Supercross ever. 3 laps to go, gets a tough block in the back wheel, wrapped around the brake.
That
And
bitch
then
was
hits
getting
the
hot.
step up.
Bitch was getting hot.
Hits the step up, about goes over the bars. And everybody's like, holy shit. Rides it out, wins. Most memorable A1 for me, 09.
I think that also too set up one of the craziest comebacks ever for Stu that year. Like no points, comes back to win the fucking title.
Very similar to Villapoto's year when he came back to win the
Yep.
title, but
Yep. So
yeah.
I think
A1, 09.
I think there's two that stand out for me, but it's hard to disagree with that one just because not only for what like that actual race in itself, but what I just said set up for Stu. I mean, dude, if you want to talk about betting odds, like the odds of him winning that title after that round were
Very
like
low.
1%.
Yeah.
So 2013, Davey Millsaps.
Ooh, that's a good one too. That one makes my list. too.
rejuvenates his career on that Rockstar Suzuki that nobody thought was going to do diddly dick squat. and it's not like him and Trey had a great
Is
battle.
that like the last year we had a new Suzuki model? 2013?
No, that was the second to last.
Yeah,
Oh.
second to last. Great. The race was great, but it just for what it did for Davey, because I'm a big Davey Millsaps guy, whatever. Grew up around a lot of the Millsaps people back in the day, the MTF crew.
Yep.
Or kind of like what we were talking about earlier, 05. Even though the race wasn't great, just the
Lots of
build up.
hype.
The build up. Stu's going to the 250 class. Ricky's on a Suzuki. MC was there, even though he really wasn't relevant at the time, because obviously he had retired and come back and whatever. K-Dub was just continuing being K-Dub. Chad, we get a fucking mutter, but
you're forgetting one other guy that was on that gate.
Pastrana, yeah. Just the like we talk
all
about
the dudes.
We talk about the level of competition right now, but this has been, and it's not like this is a revelation. This has been said before. If you go back to that lineup of 05, and you look at look at the people that were on that gate,
I do remember that.
You go, holy shit, like just insane. Because there was also a lot of dudes on that gate that hadn't really yet proved themselves that turned out to be really good. But I think it's hard to argue with yours. But if I want to go indifferent, I'm going to have to say 2013 with Davey, just because of what it did for Davey's career. Because let's be real, had Davey not had that season in Supercross, Davey might have never not have gotten a factory ride ever again after that.
And had he never hit his head on that Yamaha, from what I understand, he would have been good because he had finally figured out, hey, this is what happens.
And I don't get James Stewart's parts.
And this is what happens when my work ethic meets my talent.
Yeah, it was. But that 09, it was good. But to be indifferent, I'll go 2013 with Davey just because I like Davey and I think it it extended his career. And he just had a hell of a season that year, too.
Last thing about 2013 that I remember, too, and I don't know if you remember this, they would go through and show some tweets about the race before the season or before the race started. Travis Pastrana. Davey Millsaps is winning tonight. And everybody was like, huh?
No, nobody would have been like, you're fucking high. There's no way.
And
there's no way.
Shit, Pastrana calls
We thought he would have got like an 8th and do just him and Trey just battling. Dude. And I felt bad for Trey because I'm also a big Kennard guy, but having Davey, that was awesome.
Yep.
You got one?
What year did we go to A1?
2017.
That's my year.
With Kenny on the Honda?
Kenny on the Honda was a huge thing.
Doesn't even do the fast line on the far side.
Obviously, we were there. Yeah, it doesn't even do the fast line, and Kenny just fucking crushed everybody that
And we
night.
all left A1 going, damn, Kenny's going to have a perfect season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, dude, he decimated everybody that night.
Yeah, that's my greatest A1 memory.
That was awesome.
So,
Just from being there, too.
Just from being there. Yeah.
Being there is cool. We went,
Have you been to A1?
I went with Tommy D in 18 when Roxon came back.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so
it's a different vibe though there for those. Isn't it,
That's before you were doing the show with us, right?
Yeah, because you came the year later.
So that
Monster
whole
Cup.
deal is I went out there before I started working for Leah. My interview was the Thursday before A1.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So I was like, I'm gonna go to A1. If I'm out there, I'm in Southern California 2 days before. Why not? So asked my dad if he wanted to go. He's like, no, I'm not gonna go, but I'll pay half of somebody's flight to go just because I don't want to. So I call up Mr. Spontaneous, Mr. Tommy D. I was like, hey, you in on this? Here's the deal. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm all in. So, dude, flew out there. He rented a truck, went and drove around and did what he needed, whatever he was doing, reminiscing because he lived out there for a little while.
Yep, I remember that.
Picked me up from the interview. We drove to Santa Monica, checked out the pier.
Yep.
Pulled into the beach.
We did too, yeah.
Yep, pulled onto the beach and just slept in the truck. Didn't get a room.
I mean, no better place to do it, to be honest with you.
And then cops knocked on the window, said, hey, you can't park here. So we went and parked under an overpass. And then next day I was like, Tom, we're getting a fucking room. And then we went to the border. We walked right up to Tijuana.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could never mind.
Yeah, so very funny story about that too. There's a little kid in Tijuana and they're partying. They're right on the border partying.
Cross this line though.
Our side, dude, nothing. We had to walk like a mile. And it's just nobody wants any part to do with it. This little kid walks up, whips his pants down, starts peeing through the fence, aka the border, over onto the American side, dude.
That's awesome.
And Tom and I just look at each other like, did that just happen? You disrespect our country like that?
Dude, I will say this. I've said this millions of times.
That's another A1 memory, I guess. But
I've said this a million times, man. As much as I despise the politics that go on in California, if California wasn't run the way it was, dude, I'd love to live there. Because
I'll be honest, I'd love to go back.
It's just different. It's like, I mean, for anybody who watches this show from California, you could just go, duh. But every time I've been to California and you get there, it's a different fucking, because I've been there quite a bit even before we ever went out there. It's just different. It's like it's a different feeling. When you're in California, I fully feel like when you go and you cross that border into California, no matter whether you're coming from Nevada, whatever, fly in, it's like you get down there and you're just like, yeah, this is not like any other place.
I'll be honest, I haven't gone 3 years in a row because we went in 17, and then I went back in 18, and then I went 19. Yeah, I missed
Hey, you boys want to go day one this year?
I missed that Anaheim
too
area.
late in the year.
No. I missed that Anaheim area.
Great low-key area,
Yeah,
man.
I like that.
San Diego's
being
great.
there.
You want to go to Oakland?
Absolutely fucking not.
You bringing
Not
an AK?
a chance. No, but I mean the SoCal down there, and the nice part is that where Angel Stadium is that it's such a nice area because Disney keeps up most of
you
it.
have to.
So
Correct, yeah.
so like the area is super duper nice. So yeah, like I do miss it, but I just won't set foot in California right now until the politics
No. I
change
agree.
in a semi drastic way, or I mentally change. But right now, I just can't fucking do it. Yep. And there's most of the people that live in Southern California are that I know. They're like, yeah, fucking not that it sucks there, but they're just like, yeah, it's fucking stupid the shit that goes on here now. So
That's why you almost have to go all the way to like either be out a desert, bro, or you got to go all the way up to like NorCal, like the Oregon border or whatever. Because SoCal, it's just I don't know. But A1, speaking of A1's just a different experience, man.
It is.
Even if the race isn't always good, just being at A1,
there's a vibe with A1.
There's a vibe. There's a
vibe.
chance to go to
Everybody's
A1.
there. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Okay, last thing we'll talk about here with the Complete Racing Solutions halftime report.
You got TV broadcast on there? I might have added that late on the way here.
That must have been on the way here because I don't have that on here. But the Club MX first form deal. Have you heard anything about this?
I haven't, but I did see it in that video that I was talking about earlier.
And I reached out to Rigsby to see if he could get me any info on it because I just want to know: is it money? Is it just product and logo placement? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
because that's a big deal because that's an outside the industry sponsor
Dude,
there.
they're stepping up. They got a dyno in there now. Like,
Yeah.
definitely keeps
their
investing
shop
in
is
it.
crazy.
Yeah, Club MX is making moves there.
You guys
so
would have to go. Maybe you guys can go with me next year, whatever. I'd like to go back down to the open house, and we should just
Maybe.
all go. It's
Not a big game.
It's cool, man, just to check the place out. Mm-hmm. And main reason I was watching though, dude, Volan with the handbrake.
that's interesting too.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Very impressive.
but when you can't use your foot,
I don't know.
it's
Still
not.
impressive.
Hey, look, let me just stop everybody here. It ain't that hard to ride with a handbrake.
And work the clutch at the same time after landing off an 80-foot triple. You ain't landing off an 80-foot triple on your GSX R800 over there?
Okay, you go and jump. You go stand that thing up, drag your foot on the ground, and then I want you to jump both legs completely through the fucking handlebars and land on the gas tank. And you tell me how that's different than landing off a fucking triple.
Because you got a quarter mile of road to figure it out.
It's just way fucking easier, bro. It's way fucking easier.
I think I'm disagreeing.
The handbrake's not that hard to figure out.
I mean, honestly,
everybody says it is. It's not that hard to
So-
figure
We had this
out.
conversation with the
handbrake that thing.
It is
But you're
handbrake.
doing a wheelie, though, but you're not landing, turning, and having to drag the rear brake to settle the ass end of the bike, and then clutch it enough and keep your RPM enough
It's
to
not
triple
that hard.
out of the corner.
It's not that
I mean,
hard.
we've talked
It's
about
probably
the-
easier, to be honest with you, because you don't have to have any foot coordination. Everything's in your hands now.
We've talked
so,
about this
dude.
because you and me had this conversation
know,
about the
dude.
Stark thing having the availability of the rear brake and then going up here. And a lot of guys, I mean, some guys like they're guys that they've been sponsoring that do arena cross. You've noticed they do the handbrake,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's just guys like Jay Hill and some other dudes. Fuck is it? There's another arena cross. Michael Hicks. Michael Hicks. It's just a feel thing. I think it's just a preference. I think either way, you could just. I mean, dude, these guys are talented enough; they could figure it out.
Yeah.
It's just a feel thing. It really is a feel thing. There's a lot of guys, and this is where I'm on the train of thought. There's more of a feel thing from the rear brake being on the peg, just because of the energy point from the rear tire to that point up here. But also, I think too, a lot of guys don't do this,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
and that's what I mean. It's
I
preference.
drag the rear brake a lot,
the
though, so
amount
I'm
of
different.
feeling that you can get on your finger because like the feeling that you have in your hand
Yes.
is much better than what I have with my foot. My foot is more of a like, okay, cool, I'm basically on or off.
Well, there's more pressure on your foot too to keep it
Yeah.
planted to the peg, and I think a lot of guys why they don't, to piggyback off where I agree with you.
Okay.
A lot of guys would never do the handbrake because I think because of the feel, they'd be afraid that they'd be actually dragging it too much because
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to do it up here.
We should test it. Maybe we can get hostile. Let
I
us ride
rode
the
like
bike.
that for a long time.
I'm not hitting a triple on that thing.
You can try.
Fucking pussy. I used to jump that
Fucking
thing.
hold it wide open, bro.
I used to jump that
Fucking
thing.
Put it first.
Dude, I tooted a little bit. You smell that?
Oh man. All
All right,
right.
let's
I'm
get
not
into
going
this.
street bike Travis over here.
Street
dude.
bike Tommy.
Street
All right.
bike Travis.
Fucking
Anything
handling.
else with the halftime report?
Nah,
here?
man,
I
we're
was
good.
just going to say TV broadcast. I'm really excited to see where that goes because I think this is the first time this sport has literally had an all in, like, we are fans, live, breathe this sport on the broadcast team.
Okay.
I mean,
I love the race day live. The fact that
Yeah.
yeah,
but think about it. You got Weege. He can speak this language better than anybody in the world. He may not be a
Weege
racer.
is still just part time though.
Huh?
Weege is part time. He's not full time, is he?
He's full time in the booth. No,
he's gonna be
No.
there. Well,
Lee Diffie's still doing
but
it.
Lee Diffie though, once NASCAR starts, he's
Oh, okay.
Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Stu obviously needs
Yep.
no introduction.
Yep.
Ricky Carmichael needs no introduction.
Say what you want. Ricky's gotten better. He still says bonehead shit, but it's always going to be
It's
that.
better,
with him.
yeah.
And the reason that I say that is, you know how he does all that. He jumped that triple there.
But
and
the reason how I did that is because it's faster to go triple.
But Race Day Live, you got AC and
No,
Justin
my
Brayton.
God, dude,
I
I
think
love
that's
it.
going to be
That's gonna be
incredible.
great.
I love it, dude. It's going to be
really
great because I can actually turn the sound back on when I listen to Race Day Live.
Right, and again, two guys that have lived and breathed this sport.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have kind of a random guy in there. And an AC, I would imagine, is going to be the toss the topic to each other, or you think they're going to be tossing
I
it to
think
each
Brayton
other?
will lead it.
I think Brayton's going to lead and AC will follow, but I
Brayton-
don't know that there's necessarily like there has been
It's
before
not.
where there's a color, what is it?
Yeah, color commentator. and
They
then
might be good
analyst.
enough to just throw shit
But
back.
Brayton's going to be able to be technical now, though. And AC is going to be like, yep, now we're going to go into this. Where with Hubbard, knows, whatever. He's not going to be able, he couldn't be technical.
He
It'd
was just
be
the
him
color
talking.
commentator for
Yeah,
it.
and half the time,
It's like, Brayton's going to be like, we worked on whoops this way. Okay, me and my dad did it this way, and this is how we
And
learned.
AC's going to be like, yeah, man, I used to crash a lot in the whoops on 250.
Yeah.
So, no, super excited to see where the broadcast goes this year.
Yeah. All right. That's been your Complete Racing Solution halftime report there. Again, thanks to Rev X Oil for presenting this show. Make sure to check them out and get yourself some Max Power oil additive to put in your bike. It helps it run cooler, faster, longer. We've tested it. Again,
Harder.
that's on their YouTube channel.
Yep. Shout out Kirby Vaccum.
And again, thanks to our members there, any of our members that are tuned in watching us record this live. And if you want to see us record this show live or join in on the Thirsty Thursday members only live stream with me, you can go join the members area down there. There are links for all this stuff in the description. So let's get back now.
God,
Let's get back to- that was a long halftime.
That
Great
was a
Prado
long
AC
halftime.
battle going on here from A1.
Okay, so
so we're
let's
transition. We can just go right into that.
Let's get back to our 450 Supercross preview here, and we're going to go into, ironically, Kawasaki is now. Okay,
there's a
never
team
mind.
No, I know,
Fuck
but
me.
there's a
Here we
team on
go.
there you didn't include.
Who?
I want to talk Firepower Honda.
Okay, well, we can talk that. Let me put that in here.
They want to go last.
Nah, we'll put
No,
them
throw
in.
them in there though because they're.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they got a pretty good dude that's
They
coming
got a
off some
guy
high.
that I think can podium this year.
Me too.
Okay,
Not
all right.
consistently, but
let's,
yeah.
let's talk Kawasaki here, though.
Yep.
So, you want,
greatest bike on the track.
This is a great
Are
team,
you-
actually, man. I like this
Are
team.
you buying a 25?
My bike's up for sale. Want to buy it?
No.
Okay.
That's why I was
when that
asking
sells, I would like to get a new one for sure.
Okay. What if it doesn't sell before the season?
I don't know.
Bike market's difficult now. Ask KTM.
I know.
Wow, low blow, low blow. Too soon.
I know the funds are a little low. I just bought a vacuum.
This is also true. I got a green light deal from the old lady the other day on how
On
I
a
can
vacuum?
on how I can get my Honda 250. So I'm pretty excited
Why
about
don't you
that.
want a green
25?
250?
What?
Why don't you want a green 250?
I would like
'Cause he
to
doesn't
go
like change.
fast.
That cow is actually pretty.
Who is
fast.
this guy?
Cow is actually pretty
Who is
fast.
this guy?
I might have a friend who already has one of the Works Edition Honda 250s and told me it's one of the greatest bikes he's ever rode in his life.
Jeez. Glazer. Who's your friend?
And that's coming from a guy that had access to Geico Honda stuff. So I'm just saying, if he's saying this is the best one ever,
Did he
Yeah,
recently
is
race
the Geico Honda
Minios?
stuff?
Did he recently race Minios?
Is it Bobby Wagner?
Did he?
did he recently race Minios?
Did he recently race the Minios?
He might. He might also own a gear company and a graphics company.
He's also got the same number as. Never mind.
Yeah. So needless to say, I've been told that I need to get one.
Okay.
It will
whatever.
make
This guy's
me
a big
faster.
mountain bike guy too, right? Or big cycling guy.
Big cycling guy.
Big cycling guy.
Big cycling guy. He
oh,
may
yeah,
be
big
involved.
cycling
He
guy.
may be involved in the show here too.
Oh, a guy that's never rode another brand in his life.
That's not
What are
true.
you talking about?
KTMs?
He's been riding KTMs.
Well, he's never ran a green one.
That's true. Nope.
Well, maybe you could set him up with one.
No,
and
I
we'll
think
see
they're
what he
all
says.
good. Dude.
I
It
don't.
doesn't-
I
it
don't.
doesn't
I don't
matter
think they
what
need.
color
I don't
they
think they need Cole to set. Never mind.
No, I truthfully believe all bikes are good.
Yeah,
Just pick a
probably.
color. I
Yeah.
mean, I would really love.
I
to
don't
ride
think-
one of those
I
Except
Triumphs.
that gas.
I mean,
that Triumph would be good.
outside of handling, maybe, and that's just something that the Kawasaki's I've rode, I've never liked the way they handle. But that's just again the way I ride. It's kind of like the Blue Crew I have. For me, it doesn't work the best it should. Where the Hondas I think will work the best because I
just
was
gotta set
very
the tag,
specific in asking questions to said person about like, hey, how's the front end feel? Does the front end turn? Does it slide? And it was nope. You definitely want it if you do want that. And I was like, great, cool, awesome. So we'll see. Anyway,
I think
back to Kawasaki now.
Yes.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start
His
with the
favorite
new
guy.
kid on the block.
Oh,
Prado.
never mind. I thought he was going to go to the favorite guy.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm starting with the new kid on
Okay,
the block.
start
All right,
with
cool, let's
Prado
go.
here.
Man, I really just want this kid to get through Supercross.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's already not starting off too good here, and I really wish they would have looked at it differently and brought him in for just outdoors 1st. I really wish they would have looked at it that way.
Yeah.
But because we've seen this over and over again, the guys will come from overseas like this. You know, the Albertines, the Tortellis, the who else?
I mean, dude, Kenny and Marv's first go at it
Kenny
wasn't
and
great.
Marv's
Dylan,
first goes weren't very good, and it hindered their outdoor season where they really need to shine. Look
Yep.
at Ferrandis. We're still waiting for him to show up again.
Yep.
So I really hope he can just be cool, top 10s, just get through and be good with that. I see him being an 8 to 10 guy, just kind of where he was, and just be fine with that, and be the second tier guy right now.
If he doesn't do that and he goes for it and he continues to smash his face into the ground, the deal here is shit. It's shot.
Yeah, this is very, very critical for him to approach this the right way.
Yeah, because like the rough part is that he's not going to have time to develop for outdoors here if Supercross
If he gets hurt.
doesn't
Yeah.
go. Yeah, it's going to be a real short time frame for him anyway because of riding 450s. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this goes, but I don't have super duper high hopes.
Yeah, I mean everything looks good already though.
Hugh
The Fox
Justin-
gear looks sweet.
Oh,
The
yeah.
body-
He looks
it looks
good.
fucking sick.
He
The
looked
video of
good.
him at Fox, like with him when he first got in
Set
and
up-
started
set
doing
up
outdoors.
speed
lit.
suit too.
God, looking great.
He
dude.
likes that speed suit.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole deal is really, really cool. Like this is a really big deal for Kawasaki too. Like
Yeah.
you're grabbing the world champ, and you're bringing him into a new series.
Yep.
Big grab, but I also think that Jorge Prado here in the States is never going to be the number one guy on the team.
Really?
I just
You don't think he's the number one guy right now on that team?
I don't think he'll ever be a Supercross winner.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. I think,
Oh,
I
here
don't
we
know
go.
about that.
Hot take,
I don't know.
baby.
That's a hot take, bro.
That is a hot
That
take.
that kid is way too talented and way too determined to never be a Supercross winner.
My thing with that is like, I give it a real low percentage, but there are random people that win fucking race. Brayton won Daytona. So random people can win all the time.
Yeah, but some of the fastest dudes that are most expected to win never win them either.
Yeah, that's true too.
Also, didn't think Tom Vialle was going to win a Supercross title. His second year
Well,
in
that's a
Supercross
whole
either.
other thing. But then again, too, here we are. Prado's jumping in the deep end, bro. Like Prado
ain't the
is
250
This
class.
ain't the
You ain't-
250 class.
No, but that's the way you wanted it, though.
I understand, but I'm just saying.
Roxon, Marv, the Europeans that have been successful when they've come here,
Came and
they
raced
cut their
250s.
teeth in the 250s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yep. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. What do you think his ceiling is here?
I think you need to make it through West Coast. I think when he gets to East Coast, when you got to be a little bit more of a thinker and your line selection is super critical, I think that he's going to have his season, if he's
better
healthy, is
run.
going to be a lot better. I think the East Coast swing definitely benefits him more than the West Coast, where you start getting later in the night, you start getting to the base, it starts to feel like you're on a skating rink where you have to be a little bit more manipulative to the bike. It's not Prado's thing.
Yeah.
You get to the East Coast, I think he'll do a lot better. I don't disagree. I think 7 to 10. I think the East Coast, if he's healthy by then, I think we get towards some of the end of the rounds, especially if it's a
people-
mutter. I think he gets some top fives, but no, I think majority of his season is going to be 7 to 10, and I think if you ask him at the end of the year if he gets too healthy, I don't think he's going to have a problem with that.
I don't think so
he
either.
thinks he's going to. I don't think Jorge Prado thinks he's going to win Supercross title his first year.
I didn't get that vibe either in the Gypsy Tales stuff I've listened
He's
to.
too smart.
Yeah.
He's a very smart kid.
Yeah, I will say I do get a vibe that he definitely doesn't give a shit about money. He's here to fucking win. So that
He's
makes it
got
more
the him
easy.
and Jett.
He's definitely making more money than he did
Yeah.
over there, for sure.
Well, he's very much like Jett Lawrence in that way. That Jett cares about money. I think everybody does, but like he wants to win. He wants to be known as the best. And this goes back to his when he made his rookie debut at 15 years old, and he was fucking with Hurlings, and
Yeah.
Hurlings was the champ. He's like, I don't give a shit who this guy is.
Yep.
I want to beat him.
Yep.
And he pissed off everybody at KTM, and he pissed off Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Like Jorge, when he finds his footing over here, where he gets comfortable with his surroundings, and luckily I
some
think
shit talk coming.
he's got some shit talk coming, and dude, that's why I'm so looking forward to outdoors if he's healthy, because I know that you disagree with that, and I know that Jeff, and obviously I've always looked it up, Jeff Stan. I've always looked up to Jeff being a Michigan guy, he was one of my favorite guys growing up. I take everything he says as almost like spoken word. But I fully disagree with you guys in the sense, and a lot of these other people that don't believe Jorge, he's going to do much over here, I totally disagree. And I only say that because this kid has so much heart and determination. And he is one of those guys that goes, I will fucking cut off my arm to win a championship. Yeah. I don't care who you are. I will do whatever it takes to win a title. And I think when you have that motivation and you are that talented and that have that much already credibility and how much you've won in your career, it's hard to believe he won't do it. Like, if this was just some dude that never won a title in the GPs, you'd be like, man, this kid's just talking shit, right? He's just really talented, but what has he proven?
Right.
He's a 2-time MX2 champion, a back-to-back MX GP champion, fucking probably gotten more starts than anybody in the history of racing a dirt bike. He's on a good bike. I'm not saying he's going to beat Jett his first year, but I think that all these people that think he's not going to do well, I just don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, like, I don't believe in analytics with racing dirt bikes, but if you go off analytics, there's nothing that supports that. There's nothing in Jorge's career other than the one bogus year in 2021. Dude, the COVID year, he almost fucking won. He almost won the title halfway into the year. He almost had the title in the bag by points.
Yeah.
And then he just imploded himself.
Yeah.
Because he never knew what that was like. So I just don't agree with that. But I'm not saying he's going to beat Jett his first year. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
I don't think he's beaten Tomac his first year.
No, but
I don't think he's beaten.
He's here to win.
Which is something you need, though. You need that dog in you.
Yeah, but so is every other. Sebastian
know.
Tortelli was here to win too.
I understand. Like, it'll be interesting to see, but he's got to make it through this
Well,
first
Seb
year,
did win.
and I'm
He
not
just had
convinced.
Ricky to deal with.
I'm not convinced he makes it through Supercross at this point.
I think he's smart enough, though. If it's getting sketchy, he'll back it down.
I hope.
You think so? He already smashed his fucking face into the ground and couldn't make media
But he
day.
did that. He did that in
and he already
2020.
T-boned the fuck out of Cincerillo for 12th.
He did that in 2023, though, too.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
He crashed in the whoops.
If it was going smooth and he hadn't crashed and missed media day, I would be like, okay, maybe. But like the fact that like at the practice track here we're eating shit like this.
In the whoops, though. That's it. He has not crashed anywhere else,
There was
though.
a pretty ugly crash last year of him in the whoops too. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He wadded himself in the whoops. Yeah, he endoed. But
I don't remember.
he hasn't wadded himself anywhere else yet. Now, if you were to tell me, oh man, he's ragdolling in the whoops, he can't get timing right, he's framing triples, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But if all you're telling me is he has to work on whoops, which, let's be real, every Euro that has ever come over here has.
Yeah.
Anybody, period, if they want to learn how to ride
I'm
Supercross.
not as convinced. I'm not saying it's a good thing by any means, but I'm not as convinced it's not going because there's ways around that. If you're not being able to put the whole track together, we got a lot more work to do. But if you're just telling me he's only ragdolling himself in the whoops, then maybe it's just a setup thing.
Yeah, or it's just an approach. Let's build a set of whoops with 4 of them.
Yeah.
Start the first 4, which I don't think they're doing. This doesn't make any sense of why. If I'm a professional athlete like him and I want to learn whoops, it's all about the first 4.
Yeah.
Justin Brayton will tell you that in the Club MX video. It's all about the first 4, and then once he gets those first 4 down, add 2 more until you got your 9 or whatever the hell they're going to do this year. But
9. That's what they're staying
I don't know.
with is 9.
Who the hell am I though? I'm just a Joe Blow on a YouTube show.
All right, Ando.
Couple wins, dude.
That's your boy.
You think he's gonna win?
That's your
I
boy.
think he wins races.
That's your boy.
Ooh, I disagree.
Look at him in A1 right here. Came out, got second on a brand new bike. He's got
Had
another
Had a
year.
battle with Coop.
He's got another year of development, and I think, he's mentioned multiple times that he wants to go another 2 to 3 years. It's a contract year.
Yeah.
And you know what contract years do to guys, especially Justin Barsha.
Think maybe he's got a fire in his ass because his pants are too tight?
I don't think he wins.
I think he tightened up his pants this year, and he's ready to win.
Jesus Christ. I think between Jett, Webb, Eli, and Sexton. And
you wanna
again,
throw
and
Hunter
that's
in
coming
there.
from a guy who's saying that I don't know that Sexton can win.
And you want to throw Hunter in there even?
Yeah, and then you got
I don't
Hunter.
know.
Like that's just too many.
We all just sat here and said that Eli Tomac's going to win, right?
Yeah.
Jason Anderson can run with Eli Tomac when everything's firing.
2022, he was faster.
He was faster.
He was faster than Eli in
We'll
2022.
see, man. I don't know. I don't
if
believe that.
Jason Anderson comes out,
Oh, I agree. That guy was different. That
Now-
guy was different in the last 2 years.
If he wins a race, does it shock me? No. But outside of that, like, do I really think
I think he finds himself in some controversy for sure, and that keeps him out of a title.
he's got to not do that
him
again
and
this year.
Jett like fist fighting at some point? Because I think that'd be
No, I
awesome.
think it's going to be more him and Hunter fist fighting.
You want to see Jett win the fans back over. Watch him start fist fight, like actually fist fight. Oh my, that'd be awesome.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
That would never happen.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I think we see a step up of Jason Anderson this year. Jason had 3, 4, 5 podiums last year. Podium guy. on a bike that still needs to be developed. They're in a second year developing. And how about that whole shot device tool? You guys see that?
That's
No.
fucking sweet. You
Yeah.
haven't seen that?
No.
Oh, Justin
bro.
will appreciate this.
It's like
I'll show
a
it to him.
thing, so it hooks on the handlebars and then presses on like the triple clamp and then
they're all gonna have
slides
them.
in the
They're all
fork,
gonna have them after
and you
this.
just do it and it pulls the bike down.
Yeah, they're all gonna have
To pull it
this
down
tool.
lower? Kind of like a double
no,
shot
to do
device?
the-
To
Just
do the
check
whole
this thing
shot.
out.
Oh.
Let me find it right here. So here they are practicing starts. Great radio, riveting radio.
Riveting radio.
So anybody, go to Swap Moto Live if you haven't seen it yet, and go to the video of them practicing starts. Look at this thing right here. Hooks down into the axle lug.
Four
Look at it.
podiums last year.
That's pretty sick.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's sweet, isn't it?
It's sweet,
They'll
dude.
all
It's
definitely
have it.
great in
Come
Supercross.
one, they'll all have it.
It's definitely getting Supercross of how fucking stiff the forks are.
Right. But how many podiums?
4.
Dude, come on.
Second at A1, second at Glendale, third at Philadelphia, third at Denver.
All the hard pack tracks. So he
I
comes
think
out
West
swinging
Coast,
on all the
yeah.
hard pack stuff.
Yeah.
He manages his way through.
East Coast.
He goes to club, gets a little better in that stuff, and I think he's, I don't know, man. I think he's
Off to triumph in 2026.
maybe. I think Ducati fits his vibe too.
Maybe. We'll see. So,
But
but you think he wins? Do you think he wins?
No, but I think he gets podiums.
'Kay.
I think a lot, and I do think a lot of it.
I won't argue that.
is-
I think
is
he's got
West
that
Coast.
possibility for sure.
podiums, but I think he gets a win or two.
I think we leave West Coast when we go east full time, and we can't say leaving West Coast because obviously we go east for what is it, 2 rounds, Detroit and the Florida round,
Yeah.
and then we go back West Coast. When we leave West Coast full time, it honestly would not shock me if he's top 3 in points. But I think when we go east full time, I think that's where he starts to go backwards, and that's only just because he has notoriously struggled with the East Coast stuff.
'Kay.
The hard pack shit. That's just like he could ride that shit with his eyes
And,
closed.
and he's super analytical. I'm sure he's looking at the schedule and being like, okay, I'm gonna be able to rip here, 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 and here, and I'm gonna have to do management mode and figure out my shit here.
Probably trying to figure out how he can ride 5th gear on a Supercross.
5th gear. Oh, dude, I've never watch him on those slow mo videos. I've never seen anybody work a shifter like him.
Dude, he shifts so much, which is fucking wild to me, man. Because then I start thinking back, I'm like, dude, I don't remember him being this animated
I'd be
on a 250.
I'd be
Yeah.
scared as shit to be shifting on a
Dude,
Supercross
he's like
track.
he's shifting so many times through a rhythm section. I'm like, sometimes I look at it, I go, I understand why he's doing it, but I almost think it's a detriment sometimes that he's just that focused. It's kind of like we talk about with AJ with his technique, where he was so focused on being perfect. It's almost like Ando's got it so much muscle memory that he's like, I got to be in this gear. It's like he's forgotten that he sometimes doesn't need to always be in that. I don't know. I just
I
watch.
think
him,
for him, it's probably like me, my situation. And I'm not even close to the level of Jason Anderson, but
You're like, yo, this
if I'm
is exactly like
if
me.
I'm going up to a jump though, I go up a gear,
Yeah.
just because of the way it loads the bike.
Yeah.
So if I feel like if you're up a gear, it kind of pushes you through the face.
I just put in second, riding second all day.
Just hold it wide open in
He's
second
holding
gear.
wide open.
Just fucking
So
rebel.
those guys are probably in second through rhythm sections, and he's probably a third gear guy.
I mean, dude, you look
Yeah.
at back in the day, some of them used to ride first.
Yeah.
AC used to talk about that when he first got on a 450. He was running first gear a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, they got
transmissions are
They got
different.
different Bruce Jenners they can play with and stuff. So
All right.
Wow.
Let's move on here to the Rockstar Gas Husky brand here.
The gas
only
gases look
one-
better with the Rockstar, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because the black in it.
The all red too with the gear
Yeah.
combo.
I
Kinda
like the
digging it.
mustard and ketchup look for
I
sure.
like it.
Okay, so what do we think Barsha will do?
It's a contract year, Travis, and you know what that means.
That means
He's gonna win A1.
he will win A1.
Maybe he might. I think it's very,
no.
Look,
I'd
dude.
be so surprised.
Fuck no.
That would
That would
shock
blow
me.
the internet up.
I know it would blow the internet up, man, but it's a contract year, and we know that lights a fire under his ass. Just depending on how many more seasons he wants.
Well,
to
he's
go.
definitely
Yeah.
probably got to be thinking, man, I'm not gonna be with this team next year.
100%.
So where's he going?
And 2, we know
I don't know.
we know he's not afraid to train his ass off.
He's at
Okay.
Baker's.
And he's at Baker's, and he is on record saying, I don't cycle as much as I used to.
He doesn't do as much, guaranteed.
So for him, if he's like, I'm doing less and I can be better, that's a mental load off him.
Yep.
And that could be very dangerous.
Could be.
I just want him to not crash on a set of. Well, we not have them anymore. I was about to say, don't crash on a
Dragon's
Dragon's back.
back.
We don't
Yeah.
have those anymore.
Let's just not go to Nashville. Everybody left a
Yeah,
piece
no
of themselves
shit.
there.
I just want him to not wad himself into the ground. I just want him to make it through a season because it seems like he has not made it through a full year now.
In a little while.
In a little while, which is kind of weird considering that was never really his issue for a long time.
Yeah, I think Justin Barsha is the most interesting guy for me coming into this season just because of the whole Baker Factory thing.
Yeah.
It being a contract year and knowing what he can do and Like when he's on, dude, he can run with them.
Yeah.
100% he can run with Tomac and those guys for sure.
But this
and
is
he's gonna make it a bitch to pass him. Dude.
But these guys too are also in that realm of what the fuck's going on with the KTM Corporation.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And retirement, I think, is on his mind too.
For sure.
Barsha, I'm not necessarily as worried about because I know if he wants to do it, he'll look some guys in the eye and be like, "Pony up, we're doing our own thing."
Yep.
He'll have TCD bump sticks on that thing, and we letting it rip.
I just wanted to make it through healthy. I don't really know where he's going to finish. I think he's going to do a lot of the same shit he's been doing for the last 2-3 years. Be really, really good sometimes, and then just bad starts and just kind of rides around in 10th. I do believe though that if things start going sideways and he doesn't we get to the break, because I think is the break earlier? I don't know. I think the break is earlier this year, maybe like
March.
a week or two.
It's March.
Yeah, so it's it's a little bit earlier.
Because it goes Daytona,
Birmingham, and then
it goes Daytona, Indy,
Then
break, then Birmingham.
Yep, and then we go to see it. So if it's not going well by right at the break or right before the break, I think he just I'm out.
Okay. What about Mookie?
Oh man, another guy I'm super interested in seeing.
I got nothing to say about Mookie.
I don't know.
I mean, last year was a full-on building year for him.
Was a full-on fucked year for him.
I don't think he did too bad.
They were him and Craig were on the ground all the time.
Mookie not as much as Craig.
Well, yeah, Craig didn't make it the whole year.
Let's look at some Mookie results, and
Mookie
obviously
had an up and down year.
will talk about what you think.
And they
about
didn't
him
care
here.
about results.
They didn't care about results, and clearly we know why.
So he got through outdoors, and he. I think you'll see definitely some heat race Mookie. I think you'll see some flashes back in this year for him.
I was about to say, that was my question. The biggest thing I think with Mookie at this point is does at any point, does he show up in time qualifying, put it on top of the board? Does he win a heat race? Does he lead a main?
I think he goes back to the Mookie that we are always on the edge of. I think he might be able to get a win if things go right.
You mean because he goes so fast through the whoops that somehow his chain comes off the sprocket and then works his way back on the sprocket?
Well, he's not going to be going fast enough through the whoops on this bike for that to happen. So
Best finish,
might die.
6th at Salt Lake City.
That's actually better than I thought it was.
And then outside
last
that,
round.
he got 3 7ths. He was basically, we'll call it
He's 5 to 10.
7 through 10
every round.
all year.
Okay.
So
But no heat race Mookie showed up.
No.
I think the only time he was ever actually battling was that one
with
weird
him
race
and
with
Jason.
Jett and Jason in the heat race or whatever it was, where Jason and Jett were going back and forth, and then Mookie inherited the lead, and then he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my fucking god, I'm in the lead! And what's
back."
happening?
Yeah.
I'm back! I'm back!
Yeah.
No, you're not back. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't really know with him.
I just
yeah.
at any point, like I just said, does he put it on top of the board in practice? Does he win a heat race? Does he lead a main? I think if he
Yes.
does any of those, I think you call it a successful year. I think
Okay.
if not, I don't think it's a
And
successful
Mookie
year.
has a successful year because I think he checks all 3 of those boxes.
All right, cool.
Okay,
I'm all on board for it, man.
Yep.
I want to see that.
Does RJ ride a 450 at all?
No,
No, not if he's East
Okay,
Coast.
great, cool. Moving
not
on.
with what he's got going on.
No, especially considering now if he is pivoting to East, although he keeps telling everybody he really wants to try to defend the title, but if whatever.
He's not defending that
But
title. He had to
no,
cut his-
What's his thing? Is it just like I want to run the number 1, or do I really want to actually think I'm competitive enough to?
I think it's
he had to
both.
cut the cast off to go to media day.
RJ is a little
He
bit
can't
wonky in
ride
the head,
A1.
though. RJ is a little wonky in the head,
Yeah,
though.
why would you
know.
cut your cast off to go to media day?
I'll reach out and see.
He's wonky though. Remember, he couldn't
Yeah,
hold his
I
head
know.
up. But anyways, and also too, he won't do it.
What is it, the Justin Cooper?
You guys are out there, man.
He won't.
Who's
Never
that?
mind.
Who's
Jake
the guy
Coop.
that you said? Yeah, Jay Coop. His head's always angled or something that you were making
No,
fun
his
of?
face is lopsided.
Whatever, dude. He sleeps on his face. What the
Jesus.
fuck? His face is a lopsided.
why everyone
that
hates
dude's
us.
neck is tilted to the left 24/7.
That's why everybody hates
Whatever,
us.
dude. He makes a shitload of money.
I know,
He's got a
his
hot,
wife-
rich
well,
wife, and
never mind.
and
No.
he's an athlete in the sport I love. So
And also, he won't be able to if he's gonna ride if he's bumping 450 outdoors.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Let's move on then. Ken Roxon with Suzuki.
oh man, I mean
Electric
WSX
start.
I don't think went very well.
is
They
that full,
did
is
not.
that confirmed?
Have
Have they got a setup where Larry Brooks is happy with it?
the last thing I knew, they were just doing
They're
some
still working
durability
on it.
testing.
Still working on it.
So I haven't heard
So no.
anything. We'll see when we get.
Whee!
We'll see when we get to A1.
That was the sound of AP
So,
in Detroit.
yeah.
Does Kenny blow out a shock this year at the end of the woods?
Oh my God!
I am surprised he's still on that bike after that happening.
I am too.
I think he probably blew a head gasket.
Oh, 100%.
like all the
100%.
times he threw Honda under the bus for shit like that.
Yep.
So I'm going to be really critical of Kenny.
Go ahead.
I think that this ends up being, and I think this is the swan song outside of WSX. Mm-hmm. I think this ends up being his worst year since 2018.
Ooh, okay.
Which
So you're not thinking he's going to pull a win off?
pains
He did
me
win a
to-
race last year,
It pains me to say because all of us at this table love Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny is awesome. Kenny is great for the sport. He's a joy to watch. I think this is his worst year since 2018.
I mean, he wasn't looking very racy in World Supercross. The last round, he looked pretty racy. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a good sign.
We don't have any arena cross tracks on the
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine? Ken Roxon signs deal to go to Kicker Arena
Oh
Cross.
my God!
Oh,
Sorry,
sick.
Freeze. Sorry, Vince. Man, you almost had a title. You gotta be quicker than that.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Oh, man.
No, man. It bums me to say that, but like that, I don't have any faith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's.
I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, it's very interesting for sure. He can squeak out a win like he always does. He usually always
It could
pulls one out of his
happen.
ass for sure.
The thing is
Percentage
like,
is a lot
like you
lower
said,
this
you
year,
just
in my
look
opinion.
at you just look at how World Supercross went. And even though we try not to read too much into the off-season races, he was not anywhere close to Tomac.
No,
Not anywhere.
And I know that even though two different things, but you even look at like him trying to when he came back for out once again, not the same thing, but just going off of Kenny. Unadilla obviously ends up getting hurt, comes back at Ironman, cool on the 250, but not great. And even MX of Nations like
Yeah.
wasn't like bro,
Yeah.
you got schooled by like 4 250 dudes,
I'm with though. I don't know that he does a whole lot this year.
which sucks.
Yeah.
But I think if this year goes bad, I think that this is the swan song. I think that he just looks at it outside of WSX. I
You don't
it-
think Ducati throws a shitload of money at him?
No, I don't. I don't.
Oh,
Think
well,
that
they're working
thing's-
through the Red Bull deal. They're trying to do that, right? So
And we'll see how
Yes.
the GPs go for the Ducati next year anyway.
All right. Firepower Honda.
there is a gentleman on this team.
That's a good fucking
He's
rider.
a great fucking rider. He's been fucked by the industry for way
and
too
he
long.
won a title finally.
And he won an Australian title.
And he beat his teammate too. It was great. It was
Yes.
glorious.
And this gentleman is going to squeak out. You heard it here first. 2 podiums.
You think Savachi's going to get 2 podiums?
Yes.
And hold
In
on a minute.
Supercross.
And hold on a minute. You can't shit on him too well because you've even come around to Joey, not maybe
Listen,
the podium.
Joey
thing,
has had a full offseason under his belt. He's on a 450, which is where he belongs. He has a ton of confidence coming off Australia and all these offseason races. He came into those races with no time on the bike. Slowly got better.
but
He
was getting
wasn't
dog
too
walked.
far off
Eli.
Lawrence, Hunter, Eli, when he was stacked up against those guys. Dude, I think this is going to be Monster Energy, Cowie, Joey Sabachi that we saw his rookie year, and we were like, oh, shit, there he is.
He also looks
Okay.
happy. He also looks happy. I think also too because he's the focus point. I think there was a lot of shit going on at Triumph, and we won't get into that. But like everybody thought he was going to be the focus point, and then
Yeah.
it turned out it wasn't the focus
Yeah,
point.
It's like all his parts disappeared or something.
But yeah, it's weird. But his bike just secretly blows up. It's awkward. But I think he's the focus point now. And I think that we all know that, what do you want to call it, him being cocky, whatever, that's all any factory dude wants is to be the
Yeah.
focus point of the team.
Yeah, I
He's the
think-
focus point of the team.
I talked about AP having a breakout season. Yeah. This is going to be my breakout guy.
Now-
This will be his second breakout season, but this is like a renaissance of Joey Sabachi.
Okay.
Now-
I'm high on Sabachi.
I don't disagree with you at all. My bigger question to you is that if you think that, what do you think that happens going to rest of the year, though? Because to me, being a Joey Savatgy fan, I'm more worried about what happens the rest of the year when he's not on the box. What do you think happens to them then?
I think he's 5 to 10 for sure.
Okay, I can agree with that.
I
'Cause
think
he's proven it already in the
and
past.
this is my hot take. And our friend Rusty Davis,
Oh, boy.
Who the fuck is Rusty Davis? Is
he is on the same page.
that y'all's nuts?
No, this is
No.
Rusty Nuts though.
Rusty Nuts.
Maybe he is y'all's
Y'all's
nuts.
Nuts. Maybe it's his burner
he
account.
is.
That
I'm gonna
dude-
ask him right
that
now.
dude really needs to learn how to put a sentence together.
It might
fine.
be. It might be him. And we're on to something. Y'all's
are.
nuts. We're on to you, bro.
Y'all's nuts.
No, he said top 5 at A1, and I'm on board with that.
With Joey?
Yep.
Ooh, all right.
Man, you guys do have some hot takes. You guys are real high on Savachi.
Look, bro, I'm a Joey fan. I'm on
Look,
board
man,
for all this shit.
he's on board all season. He's been behind the gate.
And he knows he doesn't have to race outdoors.
Is he not racing outdoors?
No, they're not going outdoors.
Okay.
Nope.
I bet he
I don't
drops
know.
into a couple if he needs to get
I'm
that.
not gonna
if he
argue-
needs for SMX.
I'm not going to argue
but
the 5 to 10, but yeah, I don't know.
top 5 at
Podium.
A1. You heard it here first. And 2 podiums this year.
I think if he gets a podium, I think the next time he's in that situation, he's running the pace. Joey's confidence, which is something we've always talked about, is his biggest issue. I think that the confidence will be there. I think he has all the skills in the world, and he's always shown that he has the speed. It's just in between the ears. And if he can get the confidence comes, then I think he has no issue doing it because everything else is there. I think the bike is obviously good too. It's just for me, I obviously have been burned in the past with being a supporter of Joey, and I will always support him. But if he goes out and he gets a podium at A1 or whatever, dude, sky's the limit for him. Like, I think he's going to be good.
And you didn't even put him on the list, you disrespectful fuck.
I forgot he was riding for Firepower Honda in the 450 class, to be honest with you.
I think Diener the Wiener's putting a couple in.
I think
Probably.
Diener, couple of what?
A couple of rides in.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you need to specify. What do you mean a couple of what?
All right.
Couple of getting in the couple
of rounds.
Get in the
Couple
main.
of rounds.
So last person I got on the list here, our guy Kev.
Oh, see, because I was going to ask a question.
If we were gonna catch some, put some privateer guys on here.
Yeah, well, mine was going to be. I was going to go ahead. Sorry, I have a couple questions to ask before we wrap this up.
Do you want
to go after Kev?
You got Benny Bloss on your list?
No.
No, we're not talking about Benny. Benny hates me.
Benny hates him, so we're
I
not
mean, we
talking
could
about
double
him.
down like we did with Jalik.
And I was
Me
really
and Jalik are homies.
and I really was about to, and then I caught myself in my brain just now. Just some comments. I was going to make
Me and
some very.
Jalik are best friends. We both wished each other good luck in 2025.
I was really going to throw some shade on Benny, especially some comments that he made at the press day, but I'm not going to go that low.
That's pretty gnarly, I guess.
So Kev had a rough 2024. I think he just needs to make it through and
make a few mains.
Yeah.
He looks good in the videos from down.
Yep.
He says
Warp speed looks a lot better
he feels
normal.
good. Next year he's going to try to go like a month earlier, so he has 2 months down there instead of just a month. He says it's awesome. He says it's absolutely awesome.
Dude, his warp
No, I
speed. That bike looks tracking a lot straighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes for him here.
First time he's had a 3-digit number since his rookie year.
Obviously, we're pulling for him, so we'll see. I mean, dude, last year was so rough with
Oh
the
my
head
God.
injuries and stuff. It was a rough year,
for him.
but we'll see.
Yep,
All right.
a little other news.
No.
Nope.
I'm not going there.
Nope.
Okay.
You have some news?
I think that whole deal's pretty lame.
Which?
Oh, yeah, that we can say.
Yeah, that's fucking
His
stupid. Yeah, fuck that guy.
his teammate bailed on him,
Yep.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
and I don't know what that does behind the scenes, but I'm sure that fucks up a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, it's
I really feel
Did
for
we
Kev.
shitty
really-
situation.
I just realized we kind of forgot about Dylan.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Dylan for Indus either.
Holy shit!
If you want to talk about,
I don't want to talk about Dylan.
I don't know.
I mean, lots of
anything.
disrespect here.
It hurts me a lot. I don't want to talk about Dylan.
I mean, well, let's look at that list real quick.
Do
Who
you
else did
have-
we miss?
Do you have any?
Nothing.
We've been at this for 3 hours here, so let's get
I
this
know,
because
I
I
know.
gotta go to the.
We gotta
kids
do the
thing
Rev
here
X
soon.
segment
Yeah.
still,
Do you
so.
have those?
We
pulled
got
up?
some. You
Yeah.
wanna let 'em rip
yeah,
right
we're
now?
on the Rev X, and then we'll wrap it up with the few things I had there for picks and things like that from us. So.
I can't believe we forgot about Dylan.
I can't believe it either.
That
I
pains
mean,
me. I don't even want to
didn't
talk
really
about
forget
Dylan.
about him. I just I don't know what the hell to say about
Same
it.
situation. Just
It's like
doesn't
you
have
barely
monster
know what team he's on here. It didn't go well last year.
Phoenix Honda. Although,
All right, so we're gonna go to our new segment here, the Rev X segment. This is fan questions. So Cole runs the X, formerly known as Twitter page. So if you guys have questions, you can submit them on there. Are you gonna post questions for show and then do the number?
Well,
or
so what I did, I said we're shooting 450 season preview. Drop your question and hot takes for the Rev X segment below.
And Cole's going to select a few here. Don't do all of them because we want this to be a little bit exclusive here.
Okay.
If you want all your questions answered, you need to join the members area.
the members area.
And then we can talk about it on Thursday. and
Okay,
stuff.
well, here's a good one right off the rip
All
from
right.
Bert Diker. Chase dominates and makes Jett his bitch. 12 wins for Chase.
Tell
that's-
me that you have a picture of Chase without his shirt on your wall without telling me you got a picture of Chase without his
No,
shirt
but
on
he's
on
got
your
a
wall.
sick picture of Jeremy McGrath.
Jesus Christ.
1995 Steel
Unreal.
Roots.
Steel Roots
Unreal.
McGrath.
God.
So here's a good one. I like this one. Where is Jett making up his time, and what techniques are the others learning and proving to catch up for him? This is by Critical Mass, is what his name is. For me, I watch Jett, and he makes up a lot of time with his seat bouncing. He does kind of like a seat bounce scrub kind of mix thing. So when he's tripling out of a
Yes.
corner, he doesn't go as high.
Yes.
I think that's one small thing that I see him do.
He stays lower and he doesn't clip.
He doesn't clip a lot either, but he's very good at pushing through the rhythm section. But that's one small thing that I see from him. If it's a triple out of a corner, he can kind of come out of that corner, and he's like on the side of his tire, but seat bouncing somehow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a seat bounce scrub thing. It's pretty impressive. So
So if you watch, he doesn't clip as much as other guys going through a rhythm section, right? Because he's pushing through and he's staying lower than people, which is helping. So from what I was told, I don't know who the hell I was talking to the other day. every time when you clip a jump there,
Couple tenths.
it's the 10th essentially. So you figure if over the course of a lap, if everybody's clipping say 3-4 more times, that's almost a half a second per lap. Now, that's not saying he's not clipping at all, because sometimes he does screw up, and there are times that you want to clip to slow down going into corners or stuff like that, right? Yeah. So he does clip, but when he doesnn't need to clip, he is much smoother in getting through those rhythm sections.
Yeah, I think that, and
outside of that, he's just a beast in the sand with
just the hopping through and stuff like that. Very good in the sand. I mean, shit. I mean, he's better everywhere, to be honest with you. But like, even some guys will come off a finish line, like Mookie, for example.
Yeah,
he'll come out of the corner and he'll do like a sit down scrub. Chase and Jett, they get back up on their feet and drive through with their legs. So I think some small stuff like that. I don't know. You got anything to add to that?
So I got 2 things that I watch with Jett that to me is just small tenths here and there. And this has actually been talked about a while ago when he first got on the 450. It's something he didn't really do on the 250. But if you watch him, we all watch guys, especially when they start, hitting the bottom and they start getting square edge through the ruts. A lot of guys stand up till the apex. And then when they really start to hit the lean angle, they need that, leverage of their leg on the inside of the bike. But if you watch Jett when he comes in, where he positions his hips, and then as he gets into the quarter way of the corner before the apex, he does this thing where he bends his hips and gets it low to get more energy going through his legs. So you got to think about
sets the bike.
Yeah, so you got to think about when the bike. So, you're under braking, but you're not allowing the suspension to unload. So the actual bike is squatting low, but the energy is actually driving towards the top because it's not rotating as hard. So he does this thing where he squats down and he drives the bike into the ground to get it to settle. So you watch that a lot in corners, and then he lets that motion of coming down, and then he can sit down into the bike and then lead in. Another thing you watch Jett too.
Yeah, Deegan does it too.
Yeah, he's really good at it. I mean, fucking Deegan's corner speed's insane, especially in ruts. But another thing too with Jett, to expand on, he's really light on the bike. People say that all the time, but a lot of people talk about with his legs. What I watch with Jett is he really light on the bike with his arms. So you watch him the way he positions his chest, and you watch a lot of guys when they stand up, what's your natural motion when you stand up and your shoulders lift? Your arms want to drop. Air gravity, whatever you want to call it. He drops it, but if you watch him, he positions his chest a little bit back, so he can actually angle his arms in kind of like his elbows are a little bit bent in. So it allows him to have more range of motion of his body, because technically his arms are still bent, so they're still lifting, but he's not pressing into an a la Kenny and Eli. So his hands are really, really fluid. So it allows him to adjust. If the front end, same thing, you talk about settling the bike, front end's not G'ing out really hard going through ruts. You watch him, you ever watch, it's not planted like this. So it allows that bike to stay in the sweet spot of the stroke. So for me, I watch Jett, and that's a lot of things that he does, just small little things, and those tenths add up to fucking seconds by the end of the race.
Yeah.
So
all right, you got 2 more?
Yep. Thank you, AJ.
yeah, you're welcome. My name's Albert, though. Fucker.
NL Mac. And this is what I was telling you about earlier. He's blazing Justin.
Oh, God, here we go.
I would like to hear Justin break down the Honda 450 at Paris SX from a suspension standpoint. It didn't appear to be working as well as last year and led to some mistakes, especially in the whoops. I enjoy when Justin breaks down the bike and how it works under the riders.
Oh,
really?
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you watch it close enough to do this?
Well,
no, he definitely kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, with the whoops. I mean, the whoops is the biggest thing that I saw, but I think that also part of it too, and I know I'm not going deep in this, but the fact that they just weren't on their spec shit. You did watch it, and it was kind of all over the place. And I think part of it too is that track stayed harder than what we see over here.
Yeah.
And I think it being harder.
Stayed harder for sure.
With the rolling of the whoops. And so if, you just go back and watch what we were talking about earlier, I said with the whoops. That was the biggest thing that I noticed with Jett, is just why he was struggling in the beginning, and then obviously he fucking figured it out and he just had no issues. But I think just the biggest thing is not having the spec shit, and that track stayed harder throughout the night than what we see over here. We all know, and this is not an epiphany or revelation or whatever, we all know these guys are really setting their bike up for what it's going to be in the main.
Yeah.
So Jett is obviously not setting his bike up for the track to stay hard packed literally the whole entire night.
Yep.
But if you look at Paris, I understand he didn't win it because of the one bad round. Jett's bike wasn't great, but he still
5 out of 6.
Yeah, it's not like he had a bad moment other than that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saving the quad for Super Pole.
Yeah, I mean, dude, come on. But it was funny though when they were doing Super Pole, and he watched Gregory Arunde go through there, and he hit the nets, and he was walking off, and he's like, dude, I'd never seen somebody go through the whoops that fast. That was nuts. Fucking Arunde just held it wide open. He's like, brrr, and then he just missed the corner.
Yeah. Last one. So, yeah, NL Mac had a few of them in here, but we answered a lot of those. This one comes from Jared Riley.
Okay.
How many different winners will we get in the 450 class, and will Hunter fucking Lawrence get his first win?
Wow, he was aggressive with that fucking.
No, it's HFL. It's a thing on or X or whatever where Denny Stevenson calls Hunter Lawrence HFL.
Oh, we're not calling them the Hunter Brothers?
You're not calling them the Hunter Brothers
The
like
Hunter
everybody
Brothers?
else is?
And will HFL get his first win? So,
No.
No.
Answer that, no.
No.
And I think there will be 3.
So, Coop, Jett, Eli?
Yep.
that's it.
That's it.
All right, well, I'm going 4 different winners
Okay.
because of Jason Anderson.
Yep.
And,
Paycheck cleared this week. You can
Right?
tell.
Right?
you know, God damn, dude, I wish. Yeah, no, my check's gone now.
Yeah, $2,000 on a fucking vacuum.
Shout out Kirby.
Stop doing it. It sucks up real good.
Dude, it does, man. No, I don't think Lawrence gets his first win. I think it's definitely possible. Definitely not out of the equation at all after when you get toward the end of the year kind of thing. But
Yeah.
no, I see 4 winners and no win for HFL, Mr. Jared Riley.
I don't think Hunter Lawrence gets his first win, and I think we only see 3. And I agree with you. I think it's only Jett, Eli, and Coop. I would say Chase if KTM wasn't going what KTM's going through.
Yeah.
But I think it's only 3. And I do, if it's a 4th, as much as I would love to see Ando win one, I think that it is going to be Chase. Because I think it's just hard to see in a world that if there's 4 dudes that, like, if you're picking those 3, Chase isn't the other dude getting the win.
Okay.
It's just really hard for me to not imagine he'd be the other guy.
Yep. So, yeah.
I got one question, though, before we wrap up then.
Okay.
If there's one under the radar guy,
Yeah.
and he can be a privateer, he can be somebody that we haven't talked to that's a bigger name,
So a gentleman that exceeds expectations.
who do you guys have? And it can be anybody.
Well,
it can be
exceeds expectations on my thing, so this is great.
It can be a factory. Yeah, it can be a
That's why I
factory. Yeah,
said it.
it can be a
Yeah.
factory. Okay, see, I didn't know that.
exceeds
Factory idea.
expectations,
Yeah, go.
yeah.
All right, go
Read
ahead.
the notes, iPhone.
Yeah, dude, that's why you
Yeah, I
got
know.
an
I
iPhone
can.
now.
You want to see the phone?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's
Read
read
the
the
notes.
notes.
Yeah, you
Read
wanna
the
see the
notes.
phone?
This
There
is
you
why
go.
I was
Yeah,
really
there you
pumped.
go.
I was
Yeah.
really pumped to be able
Why
to
did you get
send
an
it to
iPhone
you.
13, though?
This is a 15, bitch. The fuck you mean, dog? Got the shit for free.
God.
Damn,
Good.
dude. What,
Jesus
you sound like
Christ.
Northside right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fuck outta here.
okay, let's
What do
go.
you got, 16?
Exceeds expectations.
Yeah, fuck off. Mine was free. How much you pay for yours?
I don't remember trading my other one in.
Yeah.
I got 2 phones.
I
so.
use it for work every day, so it doesn't matter. Go ahead. Exceeds expectations.
Exceeds expectations. I think I already went over this, man. I glazed him a little.
Ando?
I think Joey Savacci
Oh.
exceeds expectations.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Go ahead, man.
I think Hunter Lawrence is going to exceed
Oh,
expectations.
man, you guys are
this
going
year.
with the factory guys. I'm going to feel like an asshole now. I'm
Okay,
not going with
all right.
factory.
No, you can do whatever
go
you
ahead.
want, dude.
Do
This is
it.
America.
Who's
We're
going to
free.
exceed
Call me a
expectations?
homer, bro. Call me a homer, man. I'm going for my guy. I'm going for Mitchell.
Oh, Mitchell Harrison.
He's got another year riding 450 Supercross. People got to remember, man, for most of his career, he never raced 450s or even rode. Like, I can only remember a time, like once at Mammoth,
Yeah.
where he ever really raced a 450 as an amateur.
Yep.
He knows what team he's going to be on. He's got a plan. Like I said, comfortable on the bike. I noticed a lot of confidence in the videos that I've seen from him where he looks like he actually can anticipate what the bike's going to do underneath him.
Yep.
And I'm not expecting him to, oh my God, he's going to get top 5s and all this kind of shit. But it would really not shock me that if we get to some of these races, especially on the East Coast, where he's like the top privateer guy, he's 9th, 10th. We all know Mitchell's got the speed. He's just had some rough years here since the PC Cowie day in
Yeah.
2020.
Well-
He was good last year too, man. He was really good in the 450 spots. There was a lot of times he was the best privateer.
If you want to go that deep and do privateers
That's where I
that
thought,
exceed
yeah.
expectations, I got Derek Drake on my radar.
Okay.
God, he looks good on the Yamaha. Looks real fucking good on the
There
Yamaha.
we go.
All right, man, I can see that.
I don't really have anybody like that right now.
Grow up.
I was really focused on getting to getting the factory, all the
Okay.
info for the factory guys for the show.
Be
so I
cool
haven't
and
been
say Marshall.
studying.
Say Marshall.
I do
Long.
think. Well, I don't know.
Marshall, Harlan.
I think Marshall's actually gonna be better than Grant.
Oh, I don't know about Marshall, dude.
Palatelli's on that team. I mean, he's paying for his
Marshall's
ride.
one of those that
pretty
he could
solid.
either exceed expectations or he could fall short of expectations, and neither one would really surprise me because as much as I love Marsh because he's a Michigan guy or whatever, it's just the way these privateer guys go.
He did really good at the end of outdoors, man.
He
God,
did.
he was good at the end
He
of outdoors.
did, but last year was so good that
Yeah.
it's like this year it's like, man, his up from there is not a whole lot, but
Okay.
it could be a lot shorter than that. Okay, so who falls short of expectations? I'll start first. Chase Sexton.
I got 2 gentlemen. if
Isn't
that's
that kind
possible.
of? I don't disagree with you, but isn't that kind of like too easy though?
No.
Okay. All right.
I got 2. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Ken Roxon falls short of expectations.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think Jorge Prado falls short of
Ooh,
expectations.
man.
All right.
Kawasaki check didn't clear last week. All right, Justin, who falls short
And
of expectations?
I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah.
I would love for him to prove me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah,
For Prado?
fair enough.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna be that guy. I think Hunter Lawrence falls short of expectation.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Rough.
I
but all
think
right.
I think as much as it'd be cool to see Hunter continue this trend. I think this is the first time in his career outside of when he first came over here where there's actually a lot of pressure on him to continue his momentum. And I don't think he's going to be used to it because now people are going to be like, oh man, like look how well you did. Like look at Jett, look what Jett's doing. And I don't know how he's going to deal with it. I mean, I would love to say that I think he's going to do what everybody top 5s, win, podium, whatever. I think it's going to be too much for him, man. I think that Hunter, you talk about Jett not wanting to be in the spotlight. I think Hunter really doesn't like to be in the spotlight. I think Hunter just likes to go.
Hunter's been getting a little better with the spotlight.
I think so.
With some of his videos and kind of being
Yeah.
goofy. Like I like Hunter better.
I do
Hunter's my
too.
favorite Lawrence brother.
That's
Well,
'cause he doesn't give a shit anymore.
well, he has the Hunter
Jett
brothers.
cares too much. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, with that being said, I got a Jett here in just a sec. So thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks to our members who are watching. Again, if you guys want to watch the show get recorded live, make sure to join the members area. Thanks to everybody tuning in here. This has been show 288, your 2025 450 Supercross preview show. Thanks to Rev X Oil for presenting it. Complete Racing Solutions, Gutterworks, Holsterco, Pro Flow, and TLR Coatings. Make sure to check them all out. Links in the description down below. We will be back on our typical Tuesdays here coming for the 2025 season. So
So
make
crazy,
sure
we
to
got a
check
month.
us out. Yep. And happy holidays to
Happy
everyone
holidays, guys.
here. I'm not exactly sure when this is going to go out, but it'll be sometime before the holiday season's over. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me.
Yeah.
Again, make sure check out all the links in the description down below. We'll see you guys. We will be doing all the normal stuff. So I will have the live qualifying shows for Supercross. I will be doing the reaction shows after the race for Supercross. If you're members, we have the Thursday night Thirsty Thursday show for the members there where we can talk about anything from whatever the hell you want to talk about. And then we'll have Eric Grondal's coming back this year to do a segment on the show, but that may spin off into its own show. I haven't really figured that out yet. So thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you all in the next one. Later. Thanks for tuning into the Moto Aftermath Show. If you guys like the show, make sure to give us a thumbs up there with that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a show update, a live show, or anything that we're doing here, because when we find out news, we will be on here bringing you our thoughts with it. Also, if you guys want to help support the show, join our members area. You'll get member exclusives, including live shows. You get to watch the show being recorded live, and you'll get all sorts of other member benefits. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Join the members area, subscribe. We'll see you all on the next one.